Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
If you really want to be one of the best brewers there is,
I stopped dressing all in plastic.
You better be brewing 5 to 6 times a week.
Every beer is made with love, and it begs to be appreciated.
I need something to kill the salmonella I'm kind of worried about in the eggs.
Do you find that that the hops kind of clash with the chicken embryo you put in there?
I might sleep here tonight.
It's a California king. There's plenty of room for both of us, Beavis.
How many of the brewers over there have seen your ass?
That's it. Someone's getting cut tonight.
All I have to say is, hey, McDowell, how you doing?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. Live from the Hop Grenade, it's The Session. It's light outside still, which means it's getting to a better time of year. I hate doing the show when it's dark outside. It feels strange. The times they are changing. It's getting warmer, which makes me drink a little bit more beer.
Was it ever really cool? I don't feel like it ever cooled off.
Yeah, it was a pretty hot...
I hate losing an hour more than I hate...
Like a couple
darkness.
of hours.
What?
It was cold.
Just for a couple hours all winter?
Yeah.
Oh, that one time in December?
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
There was that
You're
night
right.
that there was frost on my car.
There was?
Yeah.
That was, yeah, but that was probably when you went back to Michigan or wherever it is you're from.
Oh, well, there was that night also.
It was
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
See how he lies already? First he said it was one night, now it's 2.
Beardy's a liar.
He's a
Well,
piece
and
of
it was Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
See?
there's that, too.
Wherever. Michigan, Minnesota, I don't know.
Just go back there.
Flyover country? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. We got a great show planned for you tonight. We got the boys from Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company are in the studio with us. They make some great beer. They've been at our Winterfest for a couple years, and it's been fun to have them. So now we got them in studio. We got their beer on tap as well. At least their porter. I've heard there's going to be some other stuff going on tap,
there's
too.
a stout on right now.
Yeah, I've got their milk stout in my glass.
Nice.
Yep.
Excellent.
I'm seeing more and more milk stouts. All of a sudden, I feel like there wasn't any 6 months ago, and now people are making them. It's a good thing.
Yes. Fantastic.
So I have a theory about that. I was just talking about this with some brewers on Saturday. So Left Hand, not too long ago, puts out the trademark on milk stout, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Nitro.
Oh, well, now my theory's out the window.
Well, no, go on.
Now my whole theory's stupid.
As if that were true.
My memory was I was thinking that they put it out on milk stout, and so I thought maybe this was like a covert brewery backlash where everyone was like, "Let's all brew milk stouts then," and then they have to send cease and desist to everybody. But now it's stupid because it was a nitro thing.
I just like sticking it to lactose intolerant people because I'm not a fan of intolerance.
Right.
No matter what it is.
You're very intolerant of intolerance.
Exactly.
We have two milk stouts on right now because we have Heretic's Bovine Intervention.
And that's what I'm drinking.
We got Faction's chocolate milk stout on, too.
So, yeah, why is everybody brewing milk stouts all of a sudden?
They're good.
Yeah,
but are other things. But it's still weird that, like, collectively.
Can I ask you this question? Take out the word milk stout and put an IPA.
God!
Yeah, but that's been going on forever,
Right,
so we know
but
why.
it had to start somewhere.
So after 6 months of milk stouts, you're already irritated. But after years, decades even of IPAs,
I'm not irritated. Actually, I'm trying to figure out why it is. That's
Well, they're more prevalent in spring because they're typically lighter beers. So it's sort of like we drink the imperial stouts.
So this happens every spring?
Yeah, I think it happens every spring.
No, it's. I mean,
I think it's
that's
a
probably
thing.
when they come out, but now it's become a thing.
Yeah.
This is my theory. Brewers are tired of brewing IPAs. They want to branch out. You get into brewing because you want to be creative, but you can't be creative brewing the same stupid style all the time.
JP's projecting.
Thank you.
I like my theory better. I wish it made sense.
Well, guess what? It's not the last time you'll wish that in your life.
Right. All right. Hey, thanks to our sponsor, More Beer, our good friends over at morebeer.com, and they sponsor this session and every session that we do. They have been for years. They're giving away the trip to the National Homebrewers Conference this year, which is happening in June. You can register every day between now and April 15th. So I suggest you do so. You're going to get trip paid for 2 down to San Diego, 2 full conference passes, 2 VIP tickets to BNA 10, the whole thing, flight, hotel, all of it. So go over to morebeer.com. You'll see a big logo right there on their homepage where you can register to win a trip to the National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego this year. A couple other announcements for you before we get going. We have a new Drunk of the Week phone number. You might remember I announced to you the last week or two. You can call 855-WIN Drunk of the Week. That's 855-WIN-DOTW. And you can leave us a message. That way we don't have to take all of the calls here on the program. Although we do always welcome phone calls. If there's room, we'll put your drunk ass on the air. That's fine, too. But just to be certain, if you're out on a Friday night or something and you still want to compete for Drunk of the Week, you can call 855-WIN-DOTW. You can remember that when you're drunk. You're probably not going to leave a very fun message.
It's weird. I thought we would have gotten more messages than we have to this point. I mean, It's been, like a week or two since we put the call out. And we put the call out for chairs, extra hop grenade chairs last week. And I thought, well, we'll be lucky if, we get a couple emails. And there was more demand than...
For the chairs.
Than there were actual chairs. So you never know what people are going to respond to, I guess.
It's weird. I think when people are out drinking on their own, they're not calling us. It's when they're drinking with us. So that's why Drunk of the Week is so popular, because they're sitting at home while we're here drinking, and they're drinking, and then they call. But when they're just out at a bar or whatever, they're not walking outside to call our hotline.
Well, put your earbuds in at the bar then.
Yeah,
and
do it
listen
right
to
there.
us, and then, give us a call.
855-WIN-DOTW, and then we'll play the recordings and see who wins.
Chairs?
Yeah, we were selling our hop grenade chairs. We had excess hop grenade chairs here.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
We're expanding at the Brewing Network.
No,
We're
that's
getting
cool.
into chairs.
I love chairs.
Yeah, we're lucky we didn't sell your chair. We're looking for cash over here. We're liquidating everything.
You weren't here.
As long as I get 5% of it, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Everybody's standing up out there.
Yes, everybody in the restaurant.
But they have paid the food bill finally.
That's
We're
right.
hard up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, JP, you have... Well, not surprised. I'm delighted that you don't know about this, because Dave from Flat Tail was like, I want to get some... can JP store them at his house? And I was like, sure. He's like, I'll mail you a check and then JP will store them. I was like, oh, okay. So
But
I'm
he
glad
hadn't
to
even-
know he ran that by you.
He hadn't even asked JP.
No, it sounds like he just wants to take up free space in my house, because it's not like he goes to my house all the time or ever. So
Yeah.
I feel like they would just live there, and you guys would reap the benefits of me keeping shit for you.
Do you let him sit on your furniture when he's there?
No.
Maybe he wants a chair to sit on.
No, he doesn't even come over.
That's what it
Oh.
was.
Yeah.
He just wanted a place to sit.
Right. That's all. He had to buy his own chair at your house.
Yeah, well, he's a brewer. He can afford it.
But you didn't sell him to Dave, right?
I told him I'd get back to him. I don't know. Should I not?
No.
Well, I told him it's not for the brewery.
I don't trust Dave. I don't trust that guy.
He said it's for his home bar.
He's full of shit. He's going to put him in the brewery. I don't trust any of them.
All right, Dave, you're out.
That's what I feel like. I don't want any brewers to have them. They're going to end up in their bar, and then people come in and they go, "What a cool hop grenade!" And Dave goes, "Thanks."
Yeah, I just thought of it.
Look at I got this. I got a tattoo of it years ago. I thought of it first. Look.
Oh, I forgot that. All right, Dave can have half of one chair.
He should have a chair. He's a big supporter of the Brewing Network people.
He has to sign a release. I want him to sign a non-seating release that the chair will never see the inside of a commercial brewery. I mean that.
All right.
And also his tattoo.
Right.
Yeah, retroactively.
I want him covering his tattoo while in the brewery as well.
Right. I'm sure he'll be quick to sign the release, because he's married. He probably hasn't released in a while.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so Dave can have him, but he has to sign
Or
it.
just by himself.
Well, excluded that.
All right, our Brewing Network 10th anniversary is coming up. It's Wednesday, June 10th. Oh, now I forgot it all.
Yeah, that's right.
Wednesday, June 10th. You can go to bna10.com. Not a lot of details there yet, so I'm just letting you know so that you can save the date. It's Wednesday night, June 10th. It's going to start approximately 6 p.m. All the transportation will be included as always. And it's down there in San Diego. We're going to be on Broadway Pier, which is just a beautiful place to hang out and drink some beer. We're already starting to talk to breweries and get it all taken care of. So save the date, Wednesday, June 10th. Tickets will go on sale. We'll let you know about it here on the program. Also, we've got a trip to Rogue coming up. You know, our club, Brewing Network Club, won Club of the Year last year.
And the year before.
And the year before.
And the year before.
Nathan Smith asked me when I was talking about this weekend. He's like, is this the first time Rogue has done it? And I didn't. I was like, I didn't know. I answered I didn't know, which I later realized was a really stupid answer because we've won for 4 years and never been invited to Rogue. So
maybe they just didn't want to invite us.
And it must be the first year, right?
Or they stopped and we didn't know.
Right.
And then they're like, well, they're not going to stop winning, so we might as well give it to them, I guess.
Yeah, I think it must have been the first year.
It's brand new. It is brand new because
it must be
because I think they didn't do the banquet and then they opted to do others like sponsor other stuff, and I think this is part of it. So I think they're shifting kind of how they interact with people.
All right, so we gave it away to one of our club members. You might remember that series of shows. We let everybody kind of compete for it. And then some of us staffers here we're driving our butts up to Rogue, and we're going to do a brew day on Friday, March 7th. Friday, March 27th. I don't think the brew day is not like open to everybody. It's to the person that we gave it away to. But we're doing a meet and greet that night on the 27th at the Rogue Pub.
Nice. I love that pub. It's so good.
5 p.m.
Who are we meeting?
Whoever walks, just people.
Crab fishermen
from Newport, Oregon.
Great.
And the people who run the Ripley's Believe It or Not fucking wax museum that's in Newport, which is random.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of questions for those guys.
Good. Well, that's why I set it up, Beardy. I figured you'd...
How can I keep my waxy complexion?
Right.
Yeah, so that'll be Friday, March 27th at the pub there in Newport. So come on down. We're going to start at 5 p.m. We're just going to hang out and drink beer with you. We're going to brew during the day. And
seriously,
anyway,
if you've never been to Newport, it's a really rad little fisherman town, and everyone's really nice, and there's easy chicks.
Everyone looks like Beardy, but with like coveralls on.
Yeah, and they make money. Right.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll give you more details because we might do some stops on the way up there. It's going to be a pretty short trip, but we'll let you know where we're going to be, and love for you to come hang out with us if you're along the route. All right, the Blue Bonnet Brew Off is happening soon also, isn't it, Tasty?
Yeah, it is. A couple weeks.
We're going to be there beginning Thursday, March 19th. I'll be doing the keynote speech, which is going to be gripping, you can be sure.
Speaking of the Blue Bonnet?
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone in feedback, I didn't put it in feedback, they want to know where it is. They were chastising you because apparently Texas is really big. I don't know what that means. So they want to know what town it's in so people from the four corners of Texas can know where it is instead of Googling it or Binging it or something.
Why not Google? I've been giving everybody the website, which is bluebonnetbrewoff.org, which is you have to go there anyway to get tickets to the different things and the stuffs. I don't know. It's in Texas.
It's in Texas.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Dallas, I think.
Sure.
I want to say Dallas.
You can.
Houston, maybe?
That's in Dallas.
Thank you, Tasty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get on the plane.
I think Houston's a suburb of Dallas.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
Right.
I just get on the plane. When the plane lands, I get off the plane.
Right.
That's what I do.
That's me. And if you had to summarize me in one sentence, it would be that.
Yeah. These are the things I do.
Right.
There's about 4 other things, but that's it.
Right.
They just change order.
Every now and then the order changes. Go to bluebonnetbrewoff.org. I'm really excited about it, actually. Tasty's coming out there. Nathan's going to do the tech talk, and we're all just going to be hanging out. And I hear you're fun dudes there at the Blue Bonnet, so I'm looking forward to it. For the rest of you, go to bluebonnetbrewoff.org and check it out.
It is Dallas-Fort Worth.
There you go. Dallas. See? Who knew?
Apparently the internet.
All right. Do your Amazon shopping by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage. It's a great way to support us, and so many of you have been doing it. I just really appreciate it. It goes a long way to keep us on the air over here at the Brewing Network. So thanks for doing that. Just click on the link. You do your shopping as normal, and we get a little piece of the action. We have a product of the week?
Yes, but you'll be... I'm glad you're sitting down for this shocking news. My laptop is frozen. I don't have the tab open, but somebody bought a Power Rangers suit.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite. Well,
adult size?
It just came back, yes. Okay, Power Rangers Blue Ranger Morph Suit. 88% polyester, 12% spandex. Morph suit has fully enclosed hands, feet, and head.
Wow.
Frequently bought together with the black, red, and green morph suits.
Weird, right?
Of course they are.
So I don't know. Maybe this guy works the Vegas Strip. He's one of those guys, or the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Or you take pictures with him.
Oh, that's true. Or maybe he just has a fetish.
Yeah.
His wife has a Power Ranger fetish.
Yeah, it looks like the green one has the crotchless pants.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
I mean,
I heard that there are new movies coming out, so maybe they're just getting the costumes for the movie.
I've heard that too, and really, who gives a shit? Why are people posting about that and how cool it looks that there's a Power Rangers movie coming out?
Yeah, even I think that's stupid.
It's ridiculous.
All the
isn't
people
it?
that watched it when they were 9 and 10 are now 30, and they think it's really great.
Yeah, it's morphin' time.
I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, and I don't give a shit that they're making that movie either.
No,
because I also don't suck my thumb anymore. Or there are things you do when you're a kid, and there are things you don't do anymore.
Everyone wants to relive their childhood. But yeah, I mean, I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also. I never saw that dog pile of a movie.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Of course not.
Steaming garbage.
Yeah.
But there have been a lot of comic book conventions in the area lately, so maybe,
Yeah, but it's not a comic. It wasn't even a comic book.
It doesn't matter.
It was a dumb show.
Cosplay. Any chance to dress up and be who you are not.
It's a lot cheaper to just resurrect an old idea that was successful than actually come up with a new one.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was successful with 8-year-olds. This is it's a full action film.
Yeah, but now those 8-year-olds have money.
Thank you. Yeah. Now they're 20-somethings, and everyone has a bunch of disposable income.
Yeah.
Present company excluded.
Well, of course.
I feel like the people who are going to go... Here's how I think the purpose of a movie like that to me.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to repurpose it this way, I would be on board.
Okay.
When the movie starts...
Yes.
And everybody's inside, you lock the door... And you gas the room,
yeah,
and you rid the earth of these people because we don't need them. They're bringing us down.
Why? But they're pumping money into the economy.
We don't need them.
We don't
because they're costing us just as much money in stupidity,
in emotional.
Because the rest of the time they're doing stupid things.
Huh.
And so if the purpose of these movies was that, I'm on board. Let's get rid of them.
Okay. I feel like if people knew about it, they probably wouldn't go as much.
Yeah. There's probably someone in the grenade right now who's really excited about the Power Rangers movie, and they're signing their check right. I'm never coming back to this stupid place.
F you. Well, when you went to see Geely at the premiere, what did you... I mean, that's the same thing, right?
Was that the one about the chick who sings?
I don't know, but it was that Ben Affleck stinker with Jennifer Love Hewitt or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Yes. If I in fact did that, I should not be here anymore. You should have gassed me.
Great.
Yes.
Well, whoever bought the morph suit shelled out $61.35 for it, and
I love this movie.
We got $4.60. So thanks, baby.
Wow, what a great idea!
Enjoy your suit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, subscribe and join the BN Army just by clicking the donate button. There's a BN Army dong tag. It's a dog tag, actually.
It's been a dong tag this whole time?
Well, I requested a dong tag originally, and they gave me a dog tag, so sometimes I forget. It's a BN Army dog tag. You click that, and then you become a recurring donor. It enters you to win a chance to win $100 to More Beer, our great sponsor. We give away a $100 gift certificate every month, and you just got to become a recurring donor by clicking the dong tag. All right. Get all these ideas and more over on Twitter and
Facebook.
Send your show ideas over to Scott the Jew, Scott@thebrewingnetwork.com, and send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com.
Yeah.
All right. So you might remember that we've been doing AHA candidate interviews here on the program because it's time to time to vote for your governing committee candidates. And I believe we have 10 candidates altogether. Wow. And we've gotten through 6 of them. We've got 2 more tonight. One of them is with us in the studio here today, and another one on the Skype-a-phone right now. I believe that's what it's called. Let's go to Aaron Hyde. Aaron, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well. Thanks for being on the program, Aaron.
Thank you.
Aaron, where are you from? Wisconsin?
Yep, from Wisconsin. Actually, just moved back.
Good guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, 50 to 1 shot right there.
I am good. Where'd you move back from?
New Orleans. I actually had a homebrew shop down there.
Oh, what was the homebrew shop?
Brew stock.
Nice. And what'd you do? Sell it and decide to move on?
That's exactly what
Another
I did.
good look at this. Wow, it's almost like you had a pre-interview.
Very interesting. How'd you like New Orleans? Seems like a fun place to live.
Yeah, good town. I was there for 7 years and had a good time the whole time I was there.
Beautiful. All right, so you're originally from Wisconsin then, so you're just kind of coming back home?
Yeah. We were looking to move on after we sold the shop, my wife and I, and a job came up here in Wisconsin and decided to take it and come back.
Excellent. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your homebrewing history and why you'd like to be on the governing committee?
Sure. I started homebrewing back in about 97. I actually stumbled across my dad's old stuff, and he was one of those early 1980s homebrewers when nothing tasted good. And
what was his old stuff? Just like buckets and stuff?
Yeah, buckets, and actually what I found was the Complete Joy of Homebrewing book.
Nice.
And then came across his equipment as well. And I was actually only 16 at the time, and it sounded like a great idea to homebrew beer.
Absolutely.
And so he was like, sure, yeah. So he hadn't brewed since, I was born.
Okay.
I think that was probably his excuse, too. So we went and got some ingredients, and I started brewing, and about around 2008, had the idea to open up a shop when I was down in New Orleans, and in 2009 opened up a homebrew shop, and had that for 5 years, sold it, and ended up moving up to Wisconsin and working at Breeze Malting, which is where I'm at now.
Excellent. What do you do at Breeze?
I am the homebrew products manager, the first of its kind there. So hoping to do a lot of fun things with their homebrewing products there soon.
I'm going to venture to say you're homebrewing, man.
I hope so. If I don't, I'm in a lot of trouble at this new job. So
yeah, I guess so. So why are you interested in being on the governing committee?
Really interested in being on the governing committee just after seeing so much growth, especially when I had the homebrew shop. It was amazing how many people were getting into homebrewing during that time over the course of the last 6 years or so, and just really thought it'd be a great opportunity to kind of help expand the hobby even further and hopefully dive in and really help get people brewing and understanding the hobby and everything that you can do with it.
Excellent. Do you have a local homebrew club or anything that you're part of?
We just moved up here, and it's been so cold that I haven't even ventured out that much to find a club yet. We just got up here a few months ago.
Okay.
But there's some great clubs in the area. I'm actually in between about 3 in Manitowoc and Sheboygan and Oshkosh. So
nice.
So I actually I'm hoping to attend as many club meetings as I can up here.
Beautiful. I can't say I blame you. If I lived in Wisconsin in the winter, I would literally never leave my house.
Absolutely.
I would stay under the covers.
Well, where are you going to go? Like into towns with made-up names?
Well, it's not that. I just mean the cold. I mean, the rest of the year I would leave my house. I'm sure it's wonderful.
Yeah, right.
But in the winter, forget it.
No.
Well, you're in Wisconsin. You might as well just never leave your house. It's not that great outside.
It's pretty rough. I forgot how cold it got up here.
That's crazy. All right. Well, listen, I'm excited that you're applying to be on the governing committee, and it sounds like you got a lot of experience in home brewing. Anything else you'd like to say to people of why they might vote for you?
Just hope I can really help out the hobby, and hope you take a look at my profile online. And thanks for voting for me if you choose to vote for me. I know there's a lot of good candidates out there, so... Thank you.
A lot of good candidates, you're right. But you can go to homebrewersassociation.org right now and click on membership. You'll be able to navigate through to the governing committee candidates there, and you can look up Aaron Hyde. He's got a picture there and a profile, so you can read all about it there. And Aaron, you also have a very soothing voice. I feel like you should be on the governing committee just to calm us down.
It's like the teacher from Beavis and Butthead. There's a little bit of that going on.
It's not quite that soothing, but just soothing enough that I'd be comfortable sitting next to you, Aaron. I think you'd calm us all down in there.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Go vote for Aaron or any of the other candidates by going to homebrewersassociation.org. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, cheers. Take care.
He'll be the guy that looks like Raffi from The League.
He does. All right, Aaron Hyde and all the other candidates we've spoken to as well, plus the ones we haven't yet spoken to, are all over on homebrewersassociation.org. Our other candidate that we have to speak with today is actually in studio.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
It's our old friend Mike Sardina is here. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for being up here for your interview. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Not nearly as soothing of a voice.
No.
Are you trying to score extra points with the membership by doing your interview in person? Or did you just come for the beer?
Partially for the beer,
Okay.
but I was up here Saturday doing actually a homebrew batch with you, Justin, and decided to extend my stay and take the chance to do my interview here.
Excellent. I'm glad you did. Are you sticking around a little bit for the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I wanted to talk about Brew Day, but I don't know that we can do it till like near the end of the show, just because we're going to run out of time.
I'll be sticking
here.
around.
All right, beautiful. We had a great collaboration Brew Day at Heretic between the Brewing Network Club and Quaff, and I just want to talk more about it, so it was a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike, your home brewing history, and why you want to be on the governing committee?
Sure. So I, fell in love with beer first year of law school. Living in the Bay Area, going to school at Santa Clara. Just fell in love with, Lagunitas, Russian River, all these great breweries up here, the community, everything about it. And, as I'm want to do, I take everything to the next level. And so it was like getting into home brewing, getting into just learning as much as I could about beer.
Yep.
Started home brewing when I was the first year at law school and doing all grain in San Jose in my apartment. Brewed all throughout law school. Graduated, took the bar exam, moved up to San Francisco.
Did you pass the bar exam?
Yeah, first time.
I did, first time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. How come lawyers always say took the bar exam, but they never say anything other than that?
That's a matter of record that's not important to the situation.
I see.
Right.
Because I've never heard a lawyer say, I got out of law school, passed the bar exam, and then gone on to... They always say took it. Is that to be nice to those that didn't pass it? Are you all like on a team?
No, it's just, I think, such a brutal experience that you just take it.
Okay.
So.
All right, fair enough. So you passed the bar exam.
Yeah.
So you must be a lawyer now.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I don't work for a law firm.
Okay.
So I was working for a firm in Menlo Park for about 3 years. Did not really enjoy it all that much, but, still all the while brewing up in San Francisco on a balcony. So kind of moved back to extract brewing in the city.
Okay. Just for space reasons?
Exactly. I'm up on a 4x4 balcony. Don't really have much room in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But still brewing, still kind of exploring as much as I could in the Bay Area beer scene, really getting into things. Decided I kind of want to change, and, my folks had moved down to Carlsbad. I've come down and see them, visit Peaceport, visit great breweries in San Diego.
Yeah.
Kind of found one I really loved and decided to, try and go for it and transition into the brewing industry. So working at Society Brewing now and getting as involved as possible in both, the homebrew side of things. San Diego has, I want to say, one of the best, environments for homebrewing in the country. Certainly, Quaff, the Homebrew Mart, Ballast Point.
Yeah.
You have White Labs there.
Yep.
20 years of just incredible, support for both homebrewers and commercial brewers from yeast perspective. So yeah, just decided to kind of make my move down to San Diego. So now I'm down there working at Society Brewing Company. I also do work for the board of the San Diego Brewers Guild. So I know what it kind of takes to take a smaller group of people, but also representing a larger group of membership. And that's what I see as, the AHA governing committee, serving that role between the membership of the American Homebrewers Association and then, the AHA members and then the Brewers Association. So the folks who, run and organize things like NHC and, who are, the Gary Glasses who are sending out the email blasts to say, if we don't change this law in California, we can't have NHC in San Diego. And it's, making sure that that stuff gets communicated to the members, and members are ready and willing to act on that. And,
excellent.
Really just playing that kind of pivotal role between, the large masses. I think we're at 47,000 members now in the AHA, somewhere around there.
Somewhere, yeah.
And then, the 20 plus people who are, making decisions for the AHA and the BA on a daily basis.
Sure. Excellent. And it sounds like you'd be able to offer maybe some legal perspective anyway on what might be happening and at different times.
Sure. I'm certainly very in tune with what was going on in California as far as the AB 2004 and just making sure that we can get events like the SoCal, Homebrewers Festival and, the NHC back to California and just making sure that, those types of events, I know Tasty does his tasting corner in,
at Winterfest.
At Winterfest, making sure that things like that, can happen, but also, the dedicated homebrew events that do support, homebrew clubs, which that's what they should, those events should go to support is,
right.
Go back to the hobby.
Absolutely.
So just making sure that, things like that are on people's agenda and that they notice and are aware of small things they can do. Write a letter,
Mm-hmm.
It's that easy. So
okay. As with everybody, you can go to homebrewersassociation.org. You'll find Mike Sardina there. You can click on his link. There's a photo and a bio along with everybody else. And I do know that Mike's a very dedicated guy, dedicated to beer, dedicated to homebrewing. He's organized. We've worked together on a few things, and he's always just a pleasure to work with. So I definitely recommend taking a look at him. And anything else you'd like to say for why folks should vote for you, Mike?
Like you summed it up fairly well. I love beer, and I love working for beer. I love working for people who are passionate about beer, and that's what I would do on the AHA governing committee.
There you go.
Can I just ask one important question? How long did you live off of your law time savings before you started eating ramen again? Like, did it last you a year, a month?
I'm back to ramen.
Back to ramen.
Well, but after how long, though? It's important.
A little bit.
He's not comfortable with your line of questioning.
Jesus, good answer.
What kind of law did you practice when you did?
Intellectual property, patent litigation. Okay. So trial lawyer.
Wow.
Representing a large cell phone manufacturer.
Okay.
So I had about 40 cell phones in my office at any given point in time.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing you're smart, Mike, because you're not as handsome as I am, and people like to vote with their eyes.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest.
So
absolutely.
That last guy, his voice killed it, and Justin's, his good looks kill it.
Aaron's
I
handsome.
got nothing.
Aaron Hyde is almost as handsome as I am, so people might vote for. So you got a big brain though, so
sure.
I think that's important. Go check out Mike over on homebrewersassociation.org. And Mike, you ran last time as well.
I did, yeah.
So I know this is an important thing to you. You're really looking to... Yeah. You want to be a part of it.
Yeah, Kim Wood crushed me last time. So.
Kim.
Did you think about suing her?
Yeah, she's a tough opponent.
It was my idea to win.
And listen, and Kim's not even all that great on the panel now. I mean,
plus she's blonde and
she's a girl.
Yeah. She just sits there with her good ideas, and it's really annoying for the rest
Kim
of us.
and Andy are fantastic people.
Well, they might be nice people, but I'm just talking about professionally.
Sure,
they're lacking a little bit.
Yeah, they're nice people.
We're talking about a governing committee here.
All right, you can vote for Mike over at homebrewersassociation.org. I do believe we're going to have 2 more candidates on the program on our next show. So if you want to wait and listen to everybody and have a more informed decision, you can do so. But you can read about everybody and vote now over at the AHA website. Mike, thanks, brother. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
since when is voting about listening to everything and then making an informed decision? No, you have an emotional, quick reaction, and you cast a vote before you have a chance to think.
Well, if Mike just didn't give you an emotional reaction, I don't know who will. I'll say that right now.
Right.
I mean, I'm emotional. I'm all choked up right now, Mike. You're my brewing partner.
Did I see you just casted a vote on it? I watched you do it.
Did you watch me vote? Am I allowed to vote? Yeah, I'm allowed to vote. I wish I could vote for everybody, though. We do have a lot of good candidates, and I think GC candidates should be able to vote.
That
for
would
everybody.
Cancel out your own vote.
I don't care. It's a feel good vote.
All right.
The GC should be
emotional. That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Right. Voting should be based on emotion.
Yes, that's how I vote for everything. Obviously. All right, so make sure that you do go vote. I mean, that's the most important thing because it's your American Homebrewers Association. You're the membership that we serve, and we're going to be your voice when issues come up. So we like to be able to represent you as best we can. So please vote if you are a part of the American Homebrewers Association. If you're not, you should be. So sign up today. It's you can't get tickets to the NHC if you're not a member. Tasty's been a member for longer than most states have been part of the union, I think.
A long time.
How long have you been at AHA?
Well, I think we had about 200,000 when I joined.
That's right.
So it's doubled in summers.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Tasty didn't go to our brew day. But
no, I was there in spirit.
Yeah.
I was making homebrew, but I wasn't doing
it. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company's in the studio with us. We're going to drink some beer. We're going to hang out. We're going to learn about Tioga-Sequoia. And we're probably going to have some fun while we do it. It's The Session, live from the Hop Grenade. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood, made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters, this is Jamil Zainashev, and I love a bold, hoppy beer, one that spits resin in your face and makes you cry uncle. There are a lot of great hoppy beers out there, but at Heretic, we want to make something as bold, dank, and resiny as possible. We use hops at every chance we get, including multiple dry hop additions. The result is Heretic Evil Cousin. This light golden, 8% Imperial IPA has an easy malt character that helps take the edge off the massive bittering, but it takes a back seat to the in-your-face hop character. We make sure this beer finishes dry so the hops can jump out and slam you in the taste buds. If you can't get enough hoppy goodness, Evil Cousin is your cup of tea. Cheers.
You're tuned into this session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company in the studio with us. We're going to have a good time drinking some beer and talking beer with those guys. I wanted to remind you that White Labs is putting on some classes that you should know about. One of them is going to be during the Craft Brewers Conference in Oregon this year. That's going to happen on April 14th. So you're going to want to sign up by March 14th. That's coming up quick. So you can still get early bird registration. It's yeast handling for brewers, cropping, storing, and propagation. And those guys at White Labs are the best. So if you want to take another class while you're at CBC, I recommend that one. For you homebrewers, during the National Homebrewers Conference, there's going to be a homebrew yeast workshop and webinar, actually. So even if you're not going to be in San Diego, you can take the course. It's going to happen on June 10th. That's the day of BNA 10, but don't worry. You won't miss BNA 10. They'll do it during the day. Early registration for that is May 10th. So you want to make sure you sign up for that May 10th, and you save a good amount of cash by doing that. But again, the White Labs people are the ones you want to learn about yeast from. So those are two workshops. You can go over to whitelabs.com and click on the education button, and you can see all of their courses that they put up, which is quite a few of them. So go check it out. All right. Twitter game I forgot to announce real quick, JP.
Twitter game.
What is our Twitter game today?
Well, it's in honor of Susie because she is in studio working the chat for the Bev.
Yeah,
the Bev has to do whatever the Bev does on Mondays.
Nobody does.
So I wanted to know if people could ask Susie one question, what would it be?
All right,
because you don't get a lot of opportunities to ask Susie questions because she's not really here.
She's never here anymore.
Isn't she in the chat right now?
Yes, but don't ask there.
Right.
Oh.
Because she's not going to answer your questions there.
Correct.
Only on Twitter.
Yes.
Stop being difficult, Beardy.
All right, well,
yeah.
Okay.
Now I know why Candy cut his beard. Because
This is a great Twitter game.
Thanks.
I like it. Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You do better.
Shut the fuck up, Beardy. Thank you. All right, and Susie is in the chat room, so if you hit the chat now button on the homepage, then she will send your questions over to me if you've got questions for our guest today, which is Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company.
Wait, so they can ask Susie questions
about Tioga-Sequoia,
but not about her.
That is correct. Okay. You are catching on quick, Beardy.
I'm getting it now.
Yep.
All right.
How long you been doing the show? Never mind.
Yeah. A year, maybe?
Right.
And he's still...
Damn it, Beardy!
He can still only find the brake pedal, not the gas.
So I did drive with Beardy the other day.
Oh, yeah.
He can see things,
yeah.
I realized.
No, I meant the brake pedal for the show.
No, I know that, but I'm still talking about these other things with...
He can't. Did he stop at all yield signs? Because he does that with me.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, and I'm like, what are we doing?
He definitely stops in places he shouldn't have stopped. But he stayed in between the lines is what I was thinking.
Yeah, he can see just fine.
Do you know what yielding means? It means when there's oncoming traffic, you stop.
Right, but when there's not, you don't.
Well,
you merge.
I see things you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
He sees dead people and yield signs.
Different light spectrums.
Yeah.
I see yield signs. All right, Tioga-Sequoia is in the studio with us. Right now we've got Kevin Cox, who's the brewmaster. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We've also got Michael Cruz, who's the president.
Yes, it's actually a fun drive up here. It's probably one of my favorite drives to the coast, and I'm excited.
Where's the brewery located? So what was the drive?
So we're in Fresno.
So as we like to call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we take 99, which is actually what we're drinking right now. We made a beer after the highway that we travel on from city to city in the valley.
This is the beer that's in our glass here?
This is it, yeah.
Use your own mics, guys. I threw a mic your direction.
Oh, my fault. I didn't know we had a second one.
Yep.
What is the beer? What kind of style is it?
It's a honey golden ale. So it's very sessionable. It's our lightest beer we make.
Beautiful.
Kevin should probably talk more about the beer.
Well, we will dive into the beer as well. I just wanted to know what was in my glass real quick.
Yeah.
Just to give people at home that aren't seeing this, it's an interesting visual because if you had to guess, if you just saw these guys, Kevin and Michael, who would you assume was the president and who would you assume was the brewmaster?
Yeah, I was going to get into that because who is the president looks way too young. Mike, do you mind me asking how old are you?
I'm 29.
You are a 29-year-old president of a brewery.
That's actually a really fun subject because we were talking about it on the way up here. Me and Forrest, who's one of my reps, is with us.
Yeah.
I'd say 75% of the brewery employees are less than 30 or less.
Yeah, really? How old are you, Forrest?
Yes. So
I'm still the youngest guy at Tioga-Sequoia, and I'm only 24.
24?
Yes.
Still the youngest.
He just turned 24, too.
A lot of youngsters. How do you end up the president of a brewing company at your age?
I do it right after college.
You just went for it?
Exactly.
Did you? Is your dad the owner?
No.
Does your dad own the beer industry?
Forgive my line of questioning. I'm just. You know it's abnormal, right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So I was in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
I actually interned for the brewery when we were basically a contract brewery.
Okay.
Back in 2009. Kevin was working at Sequoia Brewing at the time, and we basically went to Sequoia and had them develop some recipes, Kevin, while he was still working there. And we took those to contract breweries, and it was basically getting, our feet in the ground, testing the market. I mean, we're from Fresno, so craft beer is a little bit of a ghost town when you deal with real micro craft brewing.
Okay.
And I interned for 6 months, and basically at the end of my senior year, I asked, hey, can I do this full time? I mean, we're making so much progress. I feel like things are going great.
Yeah.
And that was the time when they decided to hire Kevin.
Okay.
Hire me, put us together, and build our brewery.
Excellent.
So,
Well, so just so you know, to me, that actually sounds like you are even more qualified because you really had to show your stuff, and then they went, this kid can do it, so let's go for it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, good for you, man.
It's definitely been a journey, and learning in our kind of uneducated market at the time. I mean, right now, it's beer in the San Joaquin Valley is just on fire.
So let's talk about that. Just obviously not all of our listeners know California and the region. Fresno is a little farther out. It's would you call it kind of at the top of the Central Valley?
It's right in the middle.
It's in the middle of the Central Valley. Okay, so even I don't know California. So middle of the Central Valley and less population than say here in the Bay Area. And are you saying that there just wasn't a big craft beer scene there?
Well, there was a few brew pubs up until maybe. 2012, 13. There's been a few others pop up.
Okay.
But there was no real local distribution of craft beer made in the valley. You only really had Sierra Nevada, Lagunitas, Firestone, New Belgium. It's only been the past 2 or 3 years that we've been getting this huge influx of breweries, even just more in California, San Diego, the Bay, even across the country like Oscar Blues and Dogfish Head just recently came in about a year or two ago. Or they've been in the Bay and SoCal for years already.
Okay. So just kind of slow to start in the craft beer scene.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean,
and Kevin, you worked for one of the early breweries there, right?
Yeah, we were well ahead of the curve. Unfortunately, that was the problem.
Oh, I see. What was the early brewery that you?
Butterfield Brewing Company.
Okay.
And
you can tell by the name how early it was too. Would you put butter in the name of your brewery if you were opening today?
Yeah,
probably not today.
Well, it was kind of like very trendy at the time, to start a brew pub per se and just make normal European style beers, like a pale ale and a amber and a porter and nothing too extreme like, obviously they're doing today, a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But, I was in the game pretty early. And
what year are we talking for this brewery?
This brewery started in late 89, actually. That's when I was hired.
Okay.
It opened in probably March of 1990. Had about a 10-year run.
Nice.
Prior to that, I had worked for a place in the Napa Valley, Calistoga Brewing Company, or called Napa Valley Brewing Company, that's still there.
Yeah.
It was really, really early. I mean, we're talking Anchor, Sierra Nevada had a lot of yeast in the bottle. And,
okay, yeah.
New Albion hadn't turned into Mendocino Brewing Company yet, so
we were all still figuring it out, basically. Okay, and what got you into brewing even before that?
Really, what got me into brewing? I worked 10 years for a really high-end winery. I was blessed. I mean, first of all, I was a Navy brat, so I was not exposed to anything good as far as food or drink at all. Sorry, Dad and Mom, but my original first job as a dishwasher for a gourmet restaurant, and I'm kind of an ambitious guy. I was working on the line within a year and a half and learning how to cook scampi and lobster and filet mignon, and, that was kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so that was my palate, adjustment A. Palate adjustment B was working in the winery.
Okay.
Very high-end winery, expensive, did a lot of tasting, comparative tasting. And that's really where I got my chops and my palate. And during the time while I worked there, I befriended a guy who worked with me who had been a world traveler, and he got me off the Lucky Lager and stuff like that, and, exposed me to what world beers were all about.
Okay.
And long story short, those beers were expensive. I wasn't making a ton of money.
Yeah.
Typical homebrewer story sometimes. But I had another friend who was homebrewing, so I talked to him and basically started reading everything, and then I just blew up. And then, of course, he wanted to keep up with me, so we just blew up each other, and we ended up being, the two badass brewers for the Sonoma Bureaucrats.
Nice.
Back when Byron Birch was writing Brewing Quality Beers. Really dating myself here now.
That's all right. We're fans of Byron Birch.
Anyway, that was kind of how it started for me. By the time I was done homebrewing, I'd won a couple of first places at HWBTA and AHA. Had a little bit of an advantage. I know that people talk about bad beer in the 80s. I've heard some guy earlier, and I had to laugh because it's like, that was not our fault. Obviously, it was an ingredient issue.
Okay.
And one of the big ingredient pitfalls back then was yeast. And being in the wine trade, I knew somebody that was working in a wine lab who was screwing around with different beer cultures for fun.
Okay.
And I befriended her and started getting liquid cultures way before everyone else, and I was kicking everyone's ass.
Nice.
So it was a little bit of a disadvantage for others. But
sure.
The combination of having a good palate, understanding world styles, taking a lot of courses from the early days with Michael Lewis, and just basically immersing myself in the whole thing. It's so exciting to see what you guys are doing because no one was doing this. I had to do this all pretty much with a few guys. It was like,
yeah,
this is crazy.
Well, when we started, it was no one was doing it either. Now, there were certainly tons of homebrew clubs, but our thought was that there were a lot of places in the country that didn't have a bunch of guys sitting around doing this either. So if we did it and sent it out to the world, they could tune in. But my guess is that had we been doing it, back then, we would have died too. we would have had a very short
We've
run.
got at least 2 more years.
Yeah,
and then that's
at least
it.
2 more years.
So regarding the yeast, if all the ingredients other than the yeast are top of the line, but the yeast is no good, you basically can't make good beer. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, in the early days of Butterfields, there just wasn't any liquid cultures out there. I was using a particular dried strain from, I believe it was a Whitbread strain at the time that came in a foil pouch. And it was the only thing that made beer worth a damn. And I learned that from my experiences in the brewery in Napa, experimenting with different yeasts. And
how did you use that? Did you just have a propagation tank and throw?
Well, the dried yeast you could pitch whole. You didn't have to prop it. They came in a big enough pack. And I brewed like that for years, and I won. The first year out the gate with Butterfields, my porter won a gold medal to GABF, beating Anchor, which blew my mind because that was my idol.
Okay.
And so these were all done with dried yeast strains. So
wow.
it wasn't until about the mid '90s that we, had white yeast, and that was precursor obviously to White Labs later,
okay.
But they were kind of the first liquid culture that you could get there, and of course we all jumped on it, and that was a game changer.
Okay.
And the rest is history.
Sure.
It's insane.
Sure.
So easy.
Well, let's talk about this beer for a moment, and then I want to learn more about your process to becoming the head brewer at Tioga-Sequoia. But tell us about the Honey Golden Ale in our glass, which is what you guys call 99 Golden Ale, right?
Yeah, this, as Michael says, our session beer. It's target audience. Obviously, there's a market in this realm out there already. We won't mention names, but we wanted a piece of that action. This is the training wheels beer for the current craft beer trender. Somebody that's transitioning into it. They can go into a bar, get something that's got a little bit of color, and it's not offensive to them. It's not dry. It's not hoppy. It's smooth. It's drinkable.
It's in fact an ale. It's an ale. It's not a lager. It's just different.
It's an ale, and it's just the rich malt character is it's easy to drink. And, we kind of pride ourselves on it being a little richer and fuller than some of them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole thing is there's a lot of people that appreciate hoppy beers that still like to enjoy one of these once in a while. Because, hey, you don't always have to drink the same thing, and you can try different things. So
sure.
We wanted to make the beer, good for everybody, not just that one demographic.
Okay.
And like we said, too, we're coming from the San Joaquin Valley where there's still, versus, I think, what are we nationally now? Like almost 10% craft beer sold nationally, something like that.
Yeah, if you count us all together, yeah.
but in Fresno, it's probably like 1. So it just hits a master demographic for us, and we're all about local. I mean, all of our brands are local.
Okay.
And so we go for our target market, which is our local Fresnans.
Good. Where does the honey character come from? Is that a malt ingredient or actual honey?
No, it's all honey malt. I put quite a bit of it in there. And that's
like what percent, if you don't mind?
It's probably something in the neighborhood of 10%.
Okay.
But it's still pretty significant. And that's where all the color comes from. And, the rest of it's all base malt and some wheat malt.
Okay.
So the honey malt has a pretty high Levibon content. And
it really comes through in a very nice way. You could have, I would have guessed actual honey even, because it has a nice sweetness to it. But it's great.
Well, thank you. We're proud of it. It's one of the things we're, as we call core beers or building our foundation on to make all our cool stuff. You still want to have stuff you can be proud of. I'm a firm believer in not just making something for that purpose.
Sure.
I want to be able to drink it. I want to like it.
Are there any issues that come up with using 10% honey malt? Attenuation or in the mash or anything like that? Just a color?
I've been kind of avoiding that issue, but color's been a problem. Gambrinus makes this malt, and it's a fairly small malt house, and they had some issues with irregular color.
Okay.
And so we made a batch one time that was really super dark, kind of looked like our Tamarack, and it kind of pissed some people off. But
there's a golden ale.
Yeah.
Well, right, and it tasted fine, but it's perception.
I guess that's tough if it says it on the bottle and it's a honey golden ale.
Of course,
it looks amber.
Of course, our brewery has progressed to a point where we're approaching the 10,000 barrel a year mark. So I've got 3 other guys working in the brewery. I'm the brewmaster, operations manager. I have a head brewer, and I have 2 other brewers beyond that. And of course, I'm going head hunting when the color's off, like who put the wrong malt in.
Oh yeah, you want to know that? And they're like, Kevin, I swear to God, it was the one you ordered.
I know. I feel really bad about that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's one of those things. It was kind of an anomaly, but now I have them color check it before I buy it.
Okay.
And so that problem is.
Live and learn.
That's what I was going to say, Tasty. Live and learn.
You mentioned you've got like a 1% craft in your local area, and you're a regional brewery. Your customers are all pretty close. It seems like you're very dependent on, the Republicans to open up and give you more faucets for them to bring in new customers into the fold.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that too, because I know probably 65% of what we make is packaged. We have so it's less on the tax.
Okay, and how does that goes into what? Grocery stores?
Grocery stores, yeah. Or some major.
Any chains like Walgreens, anything like that?
Not the drug market, not the drugstore market, but like Save Mart and Vaughn's.
All right, then local quick stops and stuff like that.
Yeah, mostly grocery. It seems like that makes a little more sense.
What format are you in there? You in 12-pack bottles, 6-pack bottles?
6-packs, 22s. We have our 2 flagships, which would be one. This 99 is a good 12-pack, obviously.
Yeah,
because you can drink a lot of it, and then our IPA, which is our number 1 beer we make.
It's a good IPA. We've come across some 22s here, thanks to Forrest over there, that we always enjoy. You guys have done our Winterfest now for a couple of years, 3 years now. Okay, but when did you open?
So 2000, going back to 2009, I said that's kind of when we started. 2008 is when we started contract brewing. I jumped in 2009. We bought the building we're in downtown, and we started doing our own beer, which means non-contract.
Okay, yeah.
In 2010.
2010. Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah,
and I think what Tasty's kind of getting at too is 10,000 barrels is quite a bit to move, and you're mostly moving it around the Central Valley, right?
Bakersfield to Stockton.
That's really fantastic.
So, and it's because of those chain supermarkets. Like Save Mart's been really great with us.
Good.
Every package, every SKU we make. 22s and 6-packs.
I like to see the chain supermarkets supporting local beer like that too. Not that there aren't other examples of that. I'm not dissing them. I'm saying it's just nice to see.
It is, and that's where a lot of our volume is. And then we have we do have a local following. I mean that's our whole. Like I said, our marketing is local. I mean most breweries that's what they go after.
Okay,
is drink local or buy local. But our branding really represents that, from the names of the beers to our brand being Southern Sierra themed with the Forest Service logo and Half Dome and General Sherman. I mean, people can relate to these. Even travelers that come into our area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know those brands.
Yeah, they can sense they're in California because you're a California brewery.
Yeah, exactly.
From every way.
Definitely. So, Kevin, did you build the brewery, the existing brewery that you guys use?
I did a lot of direction.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I know you didn't make the stainless steel.
I'm not much of a plumber.
But you put it. You were there when it went in. You guided the brewery that you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I had already built a brewery before, the Butterfield plant, which was set up to be a multi-thousand barrel brewery. It was a 50-barrel JV system, much like the original one over there at Firestone.
Wow.
It was almost online about the same time as when Slow had it. And we had 100-barrel fermenters, a full CIP with a PLC system, and
you guys went
all
big
fixed
early.
pipe. Well, right, which is why it failed.
Okay,
unfortunately.
Okay,
our investors were a little overzealous. All three of our products had won gold medals at the GABF, and they were all kind of fired up.
It was easy to get excited.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, they didn't have the money to pull it through at market and outside of our area, and that was the killer.
Okay,
and it's unfortunate. I wish I had that brewery back. I'd like to have it right now.
It's a nice brewery.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
Well, it's an interesting switch than what we normally hear, isn't it? I feel like we hear a lot of, well, if I'd only bought a bigger system to start with, and that was, I only had a 5-barrel or whatever, and now he's saying, well, we went too big.
Yeah.
How do you find that sweet spot?
Well, now it's a decade, almost 2 decades at least, actually, later, isn't it? So it's just a different time. Now you can go big like that, and you're probably going to be okay if the product is good. Then I'm guessing the product was good. You know what you're doing, but maybe the market wasn't.
Well, it could have been if we had the money to pull through it at market, if we'd have sold better.
And that'd be true now, too.
Our actual original sales guy was Doug Dresser from Firestone. But at the time, he had never done anything in the brewing world. And, so it was kind of like we had that. And, no offense, Doug, as one of my best friends, but I'm sure that I've told him this to his face. If you were who you are now, then I think it would have been a different story.
Right.
Doug is the regional sales manager for the San Joaquin Valley of where we sell most of our beer.
Okay, got it. So what is your brew house now? How many barrels are you brewing on?
It's a 30-barrel system, and we're set up now to do two brews a day. So we're brewing, at least probably a minimum 5, 6 to 7 times a week right now, and that's just precursor to our amount of tanks we have. We just put in. We literally don't have any more room. We're putting out the kind of barrelage I just told you in 7,000 feet.
Wow,
amazing!
Wow. That is,
and
amazing.
I did have to do a lot of shoehorning, and but if you look at it, it's really well thought out. The brewers work completely separate from the cellar guy, who works completely separate from the kegging guy, who works completely separate from where the bottling area is.
Okay.
And so all those things go on at the same time every day, all the time, and it's seamless.
Plus, you've got a tasting room to deal with as well, and you guys do events on the space, right?
That's fairly new. I'll let Michael take the ball on that one, but I don't want to hog the mic.
No, that's all right.
So the 7.
Let me just. Did I sense some frustration, like Michael and his goddamn events getting in the way of my brewery with that? Also, or
they're in a different area. They don't have anything to do with it.
All right, just check it.
Fortunately, it's actually the other way around. We actually planned to do a tasting room years ago when we first opened in 2011, but production kept taking up the space we wanted to do it in that 7,000 square feet.
As you want, really.
Yeah, so that's why I say fortunately, because it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
But we acquired a 30,000 square foot warehouse parking lot behind the brewery. And there's an alley separating the brewery from this lot. So that's where we now store all of our glass, all of our grain, company parking, and then we modified about a quarter of the grain warehouse to be a beer garden style tasting room. It's all open air. Everything's movable. We've got beer garden type tables and chairs. And
beautiful.
Very industrial.
It's very urban. Like you'd see a lot like Drake's or something. Where
it's one of my favorites.
It's kind of like industrial out on the docks and all that, and you see that all over the place, San Diego and all kinds of places. But there was nothing like that in Fresno.
Okay,
so this is something that is Michael and I we talk about. It's like, man, we were looking where we store our barrel aged stuff now inside. We were planning to do the tasting room, and we're so glad we didn't do that because it would have been too normal.
Okay,
it would have been inside. It would have been like a bar. it was kind of a cost constraint thing. We were trying to make this thing profitable. It was a way for us to make some extra money to kind of, close some gaps because packaging's so expensive. And we're, like you told you, we're 65%. So that's a lot of packaging.
Yeah.
And, so we went outside in the grain warehouse and kind of did it, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but, just throw some taps up and see if people would react. And, oh, man, it's been awesome.
People love that
it.
kind of environment.
Exactly. So by accident, we actually did the right
now
thing.
We won't go back. Now we'll keep. We won't. Now that it's proven that we can draw people downtown, and that's another element too. I don't know if we talked about, but we're in downtown Fresno. It's not like most downtowns. It's a ghost town after everyone leaves for work. I mean, there's about 40,000 people that work in downtown Fresno, but after 5 o'clock, it's a ghost town.
So no one lives there
no
or
one lives
around.
They certainly want a beer after work, and
they do, and that's been a huge reason why it's been a huge benefit for us.
Okay,
especially Thursdays and Fridays, people want a beer before they go home.
You're building up, improving that 1% yourselves.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't want to take all the credit, but I feel like
you're building more new craft beer drinkers.
Some of what we've done has helped other breweries see market share in our area because now we're helping, educate, and that's really the big thing with us. And what we like to do is educate the people that live in our area. Palate development, making sure they know what they're drinking and what to taste flaws.
Have that gateway.
Yeah, because once they know, they never go back to.
And you kind of need a tasting space of your own to do that, to really invite people in and make them feel a part of something.
Exactly.
So it's good on you. Excellent.
Yeah, and even some of the city officials, they're just so stoked that we're doing what we're doing. They, the area we're at, they're trying to revitalize. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Our mall's being renovated across the street from us. The high-speed rail's coming in right at that point. That's kind of a starting block point. And, there's a future there. And it's what happens to most cities or a lot of cities that, grow north. They've hit a wall, and now they're going to work their way back.
Okay.
And,
we have a lot of urban sprawl.
Right, and it's really bad. And so as we become part of this, for instance, we do this food show. What's an expo?
Fresno Food Expo.
And that's been a big hit, and we've been a big part of it. And it brings in a lot of local products, not just obviously craft beer, but growing stuff and things that are locally made. And they're going to put a big store right across the street from us for this that could draw people from all over the country.
Beautiful.
And there's a big space right next to that they're lobbying us to go into to build our bigger production plant and have like a walkthrough tour thing.
Sure.
So the city sees the value in us and what we're doing, and we've been there. I mean, we could have gone to the north end of town; it would have been a lot easier ticket. But we've been a big believer in downtown Fresno, and we're going to stick it out. And I think at the end of the day, it's the right call.
Good, and you need that. You need the support of the city.
Oh, definitely.
In our glass right now is the Half Dome California wheat, and I'm wondering if this has made a convert out of you, Justin. Justin is notoriously not a fan of wheat beer.
That's true. This is a great wheat beer.
It's really good, isn't it? How could you not like this?
And I've been coming around on wheat beers, too. I still can't drink too many of them, but that's an insides thing that no one needs to know about.
Poopy bottom, you have a poopy bottom.
Yeah.
Squirty butt.
So, I can't, I like to have a 6-pack a night instead of just one. I'm that kind of drinker, and, it's not going to be wheat beer for me. This is a fantastic beer. Tell us about it.
Well, this one's had a lot of evolution.
Okay.
Originally, when I designed it back when I worked for Sequoia Brewing, it was a half Hefeweizen, half pale ale, believe it or not. A mild pale ale and a half banana-y real German Hefeweizen.
Okay.
What had happened was the strain of yeast that I was using that made the banana-y hef got really clovey. And it changed the whole profile of it, and nobody was digging it anymore.
Okay.
And it kind of was very disappointing, but, so...
That turns me off from hefts, too, by the way, that strong clove.
It was so good, and then, just couldn't do it anymore, so...
The yeast just mutates over time?
I don't know if it did. I mean, honest to God, the original heft strain that Yeast had, that was the Weinstefan strain, I brought back from Germany, and I had it as a house strain. Years ago when I was working with Butterfields, I brought it back, and that's what I was using, and then they started selling it, and then it changed. And I have no idea what happened. But long story short, turn it into something else. And the original change was done by myself and Tom Caprillion, who I'm sure you're familiar with from House of Pendragon.
Yep.
He was my original brewing partner. I've been really blessed to have really good partners, and you'll hear about them as we go along the way.
Great.
But I have a pretty good eye for talent.
Okay, good.
And,
you need it.
Yeah,
So-
he was on the show a few months ago. He didn't mention you.
Yeah.
I think he did.
He did.
I listened.
And he said, I have a terrible eye for talent.
Yeah.
He also had to sit next to JP.
Anyway,
What? Nothing?
Oh, okay.
What we had done was him and I were messing around with pilots of this and talking about what to do. And the original idea was to make it like a wit, but we wanted it like a wit saison. So we're using a blend yeast. And instead of having, the traditional, coriander and bitter orange, we put lemon peel and sweet orange in it, mostly lemon peel, and then some coriander, and then it was better. And we were trying to make kind of like a summer beer before there was summer beers.
Okay.
And we wanted it to compete with Blue Moon and Shock Top, but we didn't want it to be a wit, straight Belgian wit, because that's already been done. Why do it again?
Yeah.
So Tommy actually came up with the idea of using Grains of Paradise, kind of like some summer beers had that in it, so that African pepper spice.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. That was like bang, that was like, okay, that's it. So
Okay.
that made it different. And then recently, probably within the last year, we took the Saison blend out and just used the wit just to calm it down a little bit because of the market we were going after in Yosemite. It was a little aggressive for the average palate.
Yeah.
And with just the wit strain, the other flavors came through in a softer manner. So that's pretty much where it's at right now.
So that beer right there has Grains of Paradise in it.
Yes.
That is a surprise to me. So there's another pretty large brewery that makes a summer beer with Grains of Paradise, and it's their main thing. And I abhor the beer. It's that flavor. I would not have picked it out in that beer in a million years.
Probably-
You have put it in such a way that it really adds to the beer.
Everything's about proportion, as you
Sure.
know.
Okay. Wow.
Deft hand.
Yeah, because I'm since trying this beer I'm talking about, I have been convinced that I will never like anything with Grains of Paradise in it, and clearly I'm wrong. It
Well,
just
there you
was
go.
used in a different way, and in my opinion, the wrong way. But that's a very nice wheat beer, and it must do well for you guys in the summer. I'm sure. Yeah.
It dies a little
like
bit in
it.
the winter, but man, it's just like
Boy, does it kick my ass in the summer.
It's probably the beer that catches me with my pants down more than any of them. I'm always in trouble for running out of this the wrong time.
yeah.
It's like
You think you put, Yosemite, highly tourist national park. You put a beer called Half Dome in Yosemite, it's going to sell.
So that's part of it too, right? Yeah, let's not ignore some great marketing because you do have to. You're on the shelf with a lot of other beers, and in your area, it's a beautiful label. It is called what's it called? Half Dome what?
California wheat.
Okay, that's got to help too. But then I'm not going to go back to it if I pick it because it looks great and I taste it and it's shit. You're not going to get me back. So you guys are doing both there. It's well done. That's a good beer.
Yeah,
we're jamming through beer here because they brought so much. So now in your glass is the Mount Whitney XPA, which I was just informed by Forrest is not out yet. So we're getting a sneak peek.
Oh, yeah. So I was yelling at my staff earlier because there wasn't a pale ale on tap, and I don't know how that memo didn't get across that I require a pale ale on tap 100% of the time. This right now is quenching my thirst. This is you're fulfilling my need for a pale.
Now, did you see this, Justin? They have an Army insignia, General's Army.
Oh,
and Tommy at House of Pendragon is doing Pendragon Army.
Right.
So, do we have to stick John at Beer Law Center on these guys?
No, we've never claimed to trademark that one. That's I think the Army would go after us all if one of us were to try to claim Army belongs to us. We're about to launch a Hop Grenade Army program as well. So no, I'm fine with sharing the Army love. Good on you guys. Yeah. This is a great extra pale ale. What makes a pale ale extra pale?
Well, this is a brand new beer for us, and it was kind of brought on by what's happening now. Mount Whitney is something that I made originally at Butterfield's, and it won a gold medal in '96, and it was 100% Cascade at that time, and it was dry hop like extraordinarily. And some people would have said, "Wow, it's like an IPA," but they weren't getting what I was thinking.
Okay.
And there's a difference. And so it was kind of a brand that was close to my heart. So we brought it back when we did Tioga-Sequoia. But unfortunately, it was the Cascade thing had kind of run its course, and it wasn't cool enough. And so sales were stagnant. I mean, a lot of people would love it. You know, it sold really well at some of the bars, but it just wasn't trendy enough, and it wasn't what was happening now. So this one over here, Michael, you know, he's like, hey, Kevin, you know, get your head out of your no-end and let's make something that's happening, because that's what he's done all along. I mean, God bless him, you know, he was the guy that drugged me up the ladder. You know, I had the skills and the talent, but this one was out there beating the streets and finding all the new styles and changing the way I perceive beer myself, along with people I brought in along the way. But the one thing I have learned is to grow and learn and never stop.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get stagnant.
This is why you guys are going to be successful. This is refreshing for me to hear.
What do you mean are going to be?
Well, you're going to continue.
Some point in the future.
You're going to continue because so a lot of brewers. Actually, there are a lot of brewers who have exactly the same philosophy that you guys are speaking about. But there are others who are really in love with their recipes. And as the times change, they might continue to be in love with their recipes and not allow them to evolve and their beer to evolve. And it sounds like you guys are working together to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I learned this lesson a long time ago. Back when I worked in the winery, I worked for a guy who was world famous winemaker, and frankly, you know, he wasn't getting that, and I could see it. He made great Cabernet. He was world famous for it, but Chardonnay sucked, and I knew why. Because at the time, my wife was working for Gurgitch Hills, and they were setting the world on fire with a new fruity diacetyl, which is bad beer, but
sure,
that buttery Chardonnay.
Yeah,
and it was like, those guys are my friends. I'm going to learn how to do it. And I tried to share that with this guy, and it was kind of like,
yeah,
yeah, and it was so hard for me because I'd sit there and we'd make this really thin, austere Chardonnay, and we'd put it in these new, beautiful new oak Sagan Moreau barrels, and we wouldn't take them out for months. And it would just get oaked, and it was just, to this day, it's hard for me to drink oaky beer because of that. Because I was so pissed.
It ruined your palate.
Well, it was
Chardonnay. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And then, it wouldn't sell.
Okay.
And he'd have to sell it off, we'd have to discount it off to Trader Joe's on the East Coast. But obviously you see where this is going.
Yeah.
It was a really valuable lesson for me because I said, if I'm ever that guy, that's not going to happen. And thank you for being such an ass because that's really made me so much more open-minded to grow and learn.
So, Mike, now you can always just go in and go, don't be that guy, Kevin. Don't be that effing guy.
I tell myself that every day because I can be that guy if I want to, but that's really not good for anybody.
I think we all can be that guy, Kevin. And this is why I bring it up. I think we all have an inclination to, you fall in love with something, you stick with it, you feel like you know what you're doing. We can all be that guy. And it's the better breweries and the better individuals who remember that you should keep moving, and you should. What did you say? Oh, keep changing. You had an exact.
Keep growing. Keep learning. Don't stop.
There you go.
And it really is. I mean, and it's one of the things I try to train my brewers is to keep humble. It's hard, especially when you're a young brewer and you're trying to make your way in the world and you want to beat your chest. And I get that.
Okay.
I was there. I did that.
Right.
It's easy for me. I already won all my medals. I'm the top guy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to look down on them for having an ego, but it's got to be tempered.
Keep it in check.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I take pride in helping them as a mentor, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I also think an ego can serve its purpose. Like you're saying, if you keep it in check, be confident about your skills. Be confident that you know what you're doing, but there's no need to be a dick about it.
Exactly. But
unless you're Muhammad
Ali. You really, it is a fine line because you cannot be really on your game if you don't have some ego.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
That's kind of what I mean.
It's just the way you deal with it and you perceive it to others.
Yeah.
You can. There's a way to carry yourself.
Absolutely.
That's all it comes down to. There's nothing wrong with having an ego and knowing you're good.
But continue to be open to learning and learning from people that have something to show you, and that's where I think you temper it with.
So anyway, the XPA is basically a byproduct of Michael saying, "Hey, we gotta get this up in the game," and so of course, he told me what he's looking for, and based on that, I wrote the recipe, and I didn't want to get completely away from Cascades because that's the heart and soul of Whitney. So what I did is I put Cascades in the front and the -10, and then I slammed it with, Amarillo, CTZs, and Citra in the Whirlpool or Flame Out, and then dry hopped the holy hell out of it with those 3.
Okay.
And so you get what's almost like a hop tea. It doesn't have a lot of bitterness. It's very sessionable, but it's still more like a pale ale than a session IPA because it doesn't have the front end hops. It's all low alpha.
It doesn't kill your palate.
And it's kind of what I thought, or I perceived what he was asking me to make, and we'll see how it does. I think it's going to be difficult to keep in stock.
This is Tasty. I know you have comments about this style. This is exactly the kind of beer that I want to find on tap at any bar I go to right now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's really hop satisfying, for and it's just a 5% ABV load, right?
Yeah,
you could drink 3 pints of this. And,
exactly. That was a missing element that we needed. I mean, the 99, yes, it's a sessionable beer, but there's still a lot of hop heads. There's still a lot of craft beer drinkers in our area. And Sherman, I mean, it's a great IPA, but it's 7.5%, and you can only have probably 1, maybe 2. Or this, I mean, I could drink this all night.
Well, I like the idea that it's 5%. Some of the beers I'm getting that are session beers that are like 4.5 or a little bit less.
It loses something.
Yeah, I mean, people can handle 5.2, 5.3. Go ahead and make a beer right there. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Plus, I think you Kevin, you really described the hop character of it just right. It is more like a pale ale. It's not as hop forward as an IPA, so it's not a session IPA. But it's light enough to be called an extra pale.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm loving the hop character. You get even a little too bitter for me, and I don't know, I'm out. One glass is great, but I'm never going to order the second one is all. And I think you're right about this, Mike. I'll order 3.
Yeah, for sure.
At the same time,
I think this is going to blow up.
At the same time, so I'll order 3 at a time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So,
you have a reputation to keep up.
So all of you in the room just can, put your feelers out and see if you can help me get some of those hops I mentioned. Because that obviously is my next problem.
That's a hard part, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the pony you bought to the show. It's trick, right?
Yeah.
Those are good hops.
You should go to NicoBrew.com, one of our sponsors.
That's right. They might have some. What were the hops again? Just because they blew by quickly.
Like I said, the whole front end is Cascade, front and -10, and then Amarillo, CTZ, a.k.a. Columbus.
Okay.
And Citra.
Yeah.
The Amarillos are very difficult to get. The other two, I've been able to contract some at not so great prices. But the Amarillo I'm having a hell of a time with.
Okay.
And
that hurts. Especially if you're doing Whirlpool and dry hopping with them.
Yeah,
that's where the weight comes in.
It's really hard because as an artist, which I consider any brewer to be,
thumbs up
it's
there.
like, I need my paint, man.
Yeah, that's right.
It's one thing to paint a picture, but if you can't get red and green, it's kind of hard to make something cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's tough, and that's my world. I stress out about hops weekly.
Oh no! Be careful with the stress. Don't have a heart attack on us. You're making good beer.
Oh, and everything breaks, and guess who has to deal with that?
Yeah. Listener wants to know if you guys have merch available. Somebody wants to buy a T-shirt for their buddy in the Forest Service. Because obviously, because of your awesome logo.
We have plenty of merch. I know we've been saying this to our fans for probably the past year and a half. We don't have online sales right now.
Okay.
We have done it in the past for say around the holidays. We'll do it and we'll have someone dedicated to do all the shipping. But right now it's just at our beer garden that you can buy the merch.
Okay.
We're working on something effective that we can sell year round because we do have. I mean, it's across the country. The Forestry Service is recognized, so it's not. Even though we only sell here, it's kind of a cool thing for people just as a novelty to have. All over. So
I'll talk to you at the break about an option to get you guys some online sales pretty easily.
Sounds good.
I'm going to take a quick break right now. I'm going to drink some more extra pale while I'm on that break.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's right.
That's, multitasking.
I told you, you're
out of you.
You are satisfying my thirst for a pale ale.
How many are you going to drink at a time?
3.
Yeah,
great.
And it'll be your third.
Yeah,
3.
I keep.
You went for third.
Shit.
So it's a compliment when Justin goes for 2. He's gone for 3, and Tasty went for seconds, which I don't think I've ever even seen.
Well, Tasty loves this style like I do as well. Yeah. So you do it right, and we're all in. All right,
honored.
Let's do this. We're going to take a little break here. When we come back, more with Tioga-Sequoia. We're going to talk more beer, more about the company, and hang out with the boys. Hang in there. It's the session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Limited time only. Enter promo code BNARMY during January and February for 10% off any Monster Mill. Don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster Mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster Mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Remember, during January and February, for 10% off any mill, enter promo code BNARMY. Attention homebrewers, if you like making labels for your handcrafted awesomeness and wish more people could see how great you are, then check this out. Grog Tag, the makers of custom reusable labels, and craftbeerandbrewing.com are hosting the first ever National Homebrew Label Awards. The top 10 labels will be featured at the 2015 National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego to more than 5,000 attendees, and more than $2,500 in prizes will be awarded. If you've created a label at any time in the past year, you're eligible to enter. Grog Tag and Craft Beer and Brewing have teamed up with great sponsors like More Beer and the Brewing Network to make this competition a great one to enter. Submit your entries between March 1st and June 1st for your chance at fortune and glory at homebrewlabelawards.com. That's homebrewlabelawards.com. Submit your label entries today. Good luck, and we'll see you in San Diego. Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls. Marquis, stop. Look!
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite Bare Bones Club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Brewcasters are back.
It ain't 401 beer.
Whatever.
All right, hey, welcome back to the program. Thanks for sticking with us. 888-401-BEER, that's our phone number if you want to call in. Also, you can hit the chat button on the homepage, and Susie Q is in the chat room waiting for your questions of the guys here from Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company. Their beer's on tap right now at the Hop Grenade, at least a couple of them. We got some beer in our glass as well.
They're in bottles, too.
And do we have their bottles here?
Yeah, we do, and you can find it pretty consistently here.
Do we have the extra pail here?
No, because it's not out yet.
No, but is like on.
We snuck you a case.
On,
did?
Is it just for us or is it on sale? Because I might.
You guys are the only people
It's
in
on-
the area to have it.
It's on tap, and I mean, you have a keg.
Oh, you'll get you guys.
Yeah,
we have a keg, the extra
You got
pail
a
too.
hot barrel keg.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I might buy both. It's good. At least the case. The case sounds good. All right, so we are talking to the Tioga-Sequoia folks. Let me let you know real quick, if you're looking to brew as good a beer as they do, you might want to consider going to the Siebel Institute of Technology to learn how to brew. The Siebel Institute of Tech is conducting a random drawing of Siebel Institute newsletter subscribers to receive fully paid tuition towards any of their 3 web-based professional brewing courses. So you just got to sign up for the newsletter, and then you could win a chance to go to these web courses, which are fantastic. It's a value of nearly, are you ready for this? $13K.
What?
Yeah, it's a big course. I mean, we're talking about some really comprehensive training here. We're not talking about a little homebrew course. So you can really learn a great beer. Enter to win simply by signing up to receive the Siebel Institute newsletter. Full details available over at SiebelInstitute.com. Siebel Institute of Tech, America's brewing school. Go check it out. All right. So I have a rather unique beer in my glass from you guys now.
It's spicy, man. My mouth is on fire.
What do you call it? Chili beer?
Yeah.
What's the style? What's the style of
As
this one?
JP said during the break, I want an actual chili beer, like, bison and beans.
Oh, right. But this is like the vegetable chili beer. What's this beer called?
I think it's a fruit.
It's called what style?
I think in the Central Valley it's called a breakfast beverage.
It is called Joaquin Murrieta chili beer. That's what it is.
Yeah, this beer, gosh, how do I describe this without going on and on? We had a fermentation go awry when our glycol system went down back in the Tom Caprillion days. It was actually a lager, a Pilsner, and it, needless to say, the glycol went down over a weekend. And when we came in...
What time of year?
Right in the middle of summer.
So just so
hot.
folks know at home, in Fresno in the summer is kind of like where I grew up. It can be a good 110, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for weeks.
That's it?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. So, you guys are all homebrewers. You know the rest of the story. It was done on Monday. And
wait. So I got to hear this whole story. So don't go too fast. So you put it in the fermenter on Friday.
Yes.
It's a Pilsner?
Yes.
Glycol breaks over the weekend. Nobody's there.
Correct.
You come in on Monday. What temperature is the beer?
About 90.
And literally, like, you take a gravity and fermentation is complete.
Yeah, let's say it wasn't bubbling anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, so what do you do? I mean, we're pretty early on in the game. You don't want to... I mean, what are you going to do? So,
well, what did you have there? What did it taste like?
It tasted good. It would taste, but it tasted like an ale. Or a steam beer, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So like a common or like a blonde ale, basically?
Yes. It tasted, I mean...
It tastes bad. It just
tasted
wasn't the
surprisingly
beer we
okay.
usually make.
Yeah.
So it had some fruity qualities, but it didn't have off flavor.
Right, because it was a lager yeast, maybe, I don't know, but it didn't have a lot of esters. It definitely tasted ale-like.
Okay.
But, it wasn't what we were making.
Sure.
And, of course, we're not going to sell it as that, so what do? Well, we had been contemplating making a chili beer and just talking about it. Well, I think it was Tommy who came up with the idea that maybe we can turn this one into that. It's been a while now, so I'll give you credit, Tom, even if it was both our ideas. It's the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And basically the idea came that we could do this in a different way where we're going to take a handful of different chilies. We use Fresno chilies, of course, for the obvious reasons, jalapenos, serranos, and habaneros. But what made it different from what other people were doing out there when I was researching the internet was, I didn't want to cook them down because it would take away a lot of the flavor, I thought. So I thought about back in when I was going to school, and they're thinking about cleaning yeast, and it's done by lowering the pH, and you can clean the yeast that way and clean the bacteria off. So I thought, why not pepper beer or peppers? So we cut up the peppers, put them in the sink, got the pH below 2, and let it sit for an hour, and basically put it straight into socks and into a small amount of beer to make it nuclear, because peppers vary so much, just like if you ever make salsa. And we wanted to have control. That's one thing, literally I'm a control freak. I can't stand leaving things to chance.
Makes you a good brewer.
Control the outcome anytime you can. Try to control the outcome.
Yeah, so basically, if I have what we call these soaker kegs with these peppers, and I can go in the lab and I can go, okay, well, 1 milliliter equals 5 gallons, and I can put it to a base beer. In the case here, the Pilsner, later on we use it in our 99. We would have control over it, so I could taste it and see what it was going to be like before I pumped those kegs in there.
I see.
So sometimes I'd get 500 gallons, sometimes I'd get 8, depending on how hot it was. But I could control the temperature. But anyway, back to the original time, that was what we did, and we were cutting the peppers by hand, and everybody's dying, and it's really miserable. And, it was kind of like, okay, that was cool. That was our one-off, but man, the beer started selling. It became like our second best bomber.
Wow!
And so we had to keep making it. So we ended up getting an industrial slicer at one point, but still the brewers hate it, and we make it quite often.
We make it at least once a month. Yeah.
So how did you recreate that fermentation profile?
You didn't, but the flavor profile that you get from the chilies is what we infuse now into the 99, and it actually is better because the Pilsner, as it was, with the way it fermented, was still a little thin. Because originally we would do it with the Pilsner at normal temperatures, but it was a little thin and dry and a little too peppery and austere. With the 99's richness and its sweetness, the peppers lended themselves better, and so that was probably Michael's idea. He's over, that's my idea. But anyway, I forget.
Listen,
old.
he has he is that title like youngest president in the world.
I know,
so that's all the credit
he doesn't need any more credit.
Yeah,
I'm just not going to say anything from here on out.
But I think I seem to remember that might have been his idea. Anyway.
So you're cutting it out. I'm just, as a home brewer, I want to know. So you just basically have fresh peppers cut into slices, and then you're putting them in some sort of a bag to then steep in beer.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the key is you got to get them incredibly fresh. We order them, and they right out of our fresh produce company, just crisp and, perfect.
And the seeds and everything
yes.
are all going in.
We chop it up, we put it in there, and basically put it in these, filter socks, and let it sit for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And that stuff is just crazy hot.
Yeah, that's what I want to know is what does that concentrated version taste like?
We all challenge ourselves to drink a little now and then, and it's always a mistake.
Okay, all right. But what a great idea, because now you have, it's kind of like how Belgian brewers have been doing sour beers for years. Now you have something you can blend into another beer to get exactly what you want.
Right, and we take that concept in all kinds of directions. We'll take a flavoring ingredient, and instead of just throwing it all in the tank, we'll make a soaker keg, and then we can pump it back in based on what we want, whether it's, different types of fruit or flavoring or whatever. But it's really a handy way to control what you're making.
Yeah, you can dial in what you're doing. We preach the tincture method here all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we didn't, invent the wheel.
No.
It's just that's what we do. And
it makes sense because you have control. You want control.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially your production beer. If one-off,
yeah.
Oh, it's really hot, And the next time you want it to be the same, I guess so.
Especially when you're doing something with such the taste of chilies.
Yeah.
is huge. You can't overdo it or underdo it.
Yeah, so
It's
of
a big
course,
difference.
there's a few beers we make that are polarizing, but this is probably the most.
That's the
People either really love it or they spit it out.
Sure. People think maybe it doesn't belong in beer. So in the beginning, when I first started getting into home brewing, somebody had given me a chili beer. I think I've told the story on the show before, so I hated chili beer in the beginning. In recent years, I've really started to like it. People have handed me some really nice, spicy beers. I think a little heat goes fantastic with a beer. And this is a good example of it. And by the way, you guys aren't. It's not too mild on the heat. You've gone for it.
There's no wading into this beer. You kind of just cannonball right in.
It's there, but I'm also kind of a sissy about heat, and it's not overdoing it either. So I guess what I'm saying, it's neither too subtle. It's right there, man. Because it's. I could have a pint of it. It's not burning me.
It's on the hairy edge. I couldn't have a full pint. I could probably do 8 ounces.
Yeah, okay.
Like a tulip or something. Maybe 10, maybe. But it's delicious.
It is delicious. I want a full pint with like a big hearty meal right now.
I can see buying like a bomber of this and adding it to like a 5-gallon keg of just lager.
Oh, there you go.
So he's also on the right track because it is really good to blend into something like our darker beers. If you, for instance, we'll make firkins sometimes where we'll take, half milk stout or rush hour and mix it half with chili beer, and people just go crazy.
Isn't this some of your porter right here?
That is it, yeah.
Can we try that now, maybe?
Yeah,
you do a little blend?
Yeah.
I'll also say, too, with the chili beer, I'd say 1 out of every 5 people that buy it, if not more, they use it as a marinade. They use it with food.
Oh, yeah.
Infuse it.
So that's the other selling point. If you don't like the beer, saute your meat in it.
It's a great flavoring.
It's not a waste either way.
Yeah.
Can I just put a finer point while we're pouring this blend on the lager yeast thing at 90 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
So is that a thing that lager yeast won't produce esters at really high temperatures?
I have no idea.
It just turned out that way on that one batch?
Yeah.
I don't think that they won't, but maybe they were covered up by some. Maybe they're not as intense. Because the strain is geared for, produces different flavors at different temperatures. So
let's just say I didn't try to recreate it.
Right. Well, I'm wondering, if I'm a home brewer who's listening, I'm thinking, well, geez, you rip through a fermentation in 2 days.
Yeah.
And maybe it's worth screwing around with it and seeing what lager yeasts do at really high temperatures.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have the time and you're definitely looking for that next thing, those are exactly the kind of ideas that you have to come up with.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in our business, we don't have time for that kind of stuff.
Sure. But Tasty, I sense that you're not surprised that the beer came out okay like that. You were always trying to mess with lager fermentation a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of that's in some situations you'll get a lot of unusual flavors out of a lager yeast at ale temperatures, but it's not. I don't think it's typically that bad. It just has more ale characteristics than you're looking for. Yeah. Obviously, that's a fail if you're brewing a lager.
Yeah.
What's the beer in the growler? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
So that's their porter
with Ecuador nibs.
So you guys have our traditional sugar pine porter. I think you just put it on tap.
Which I had. That was good.
So this is actually a variant of that we're actually messing with different regions
is the
of
next
chocolate.
Big thing.
And this is Ecuadorian chocolate that we used in this, and it's
okay.
It's amazing.
And I poured it. Good. I had Moscow poured on top of the chili.
Yeah,
beer.
I did the same thing. Little blend.
And it's fucking fantastic.
This is what they were known for, by the way. Winter Brews Fest, the Tioga-Sequoia had an insane line this year. Forrest, you were pouring there, right? What was the difference with the line? Did you have any line last year, or was this year the year you guys hit?
Hey, give me that chili beer, Jay.
We had some line, most of the years because we don't really have distribution out here, so this is kind of the only opportunity people have to come and try the beer. But I think the hype has kind of built over the last couple of years, and some specialty stuff we've been bringing. And this year we kind of just brought guns loaded, ready to rock. And I've been passing around the chili beer to all the people, kind of just. I snuck around and played the guerrilla marketer and was just launching
in the crowd.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you tried that chili beer at Target?
Everybody's coming over.
It worked.
Popping in and out of the crowd.
It worked. And the reason I bring it up is that he was doing a lot of blending. Would you have 3 taps? You're pouring 3 different beers, and he was blending up a storm. And I was hearing the buzz. People going, "Did you have the blend of the hazelnut and the sugar pine?"
Yeah,
whatever?
but now we just discovered that was all Forrest saying.
Yeah, it was all right.
He took off his Tioga shirt. He walked around, did that, put the shirt back on, and started blending.
Right, well, it worked. Hey, did you hear the buzz?
I tried to do that at the Flat Tail booth. I kept going, "Hey, do you have anything good to drink?"
It didn't work as well.
It didn't work as well.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, this tastes great together, but now I got to try this beer on its own too.
Yeah, actually, we've been making this particular beer for quite some time. It's got cocoa nibs and vanilla. But recently I was approached by a retailer that is a chocolatier in the Bay Area. I'm sorry if I forgot who you are already, but it's on my email.
That's all right.
Artisan, I believe, Artisan Chocolate. And I had her send me some samples, and basically I made 3 soaker kegs with these different nibs the same way, just pulled our base for sugar pine out and made it exactly the same in small soaker kegs with the different nibs, and we started trying them, and man, what a difference. They're like twice the price, but the chocolate just blows up.
Okay.
And it's what's been missing. I mean, the beer's good anyway, but it's a little more porter-like, and the vanilla comes through, but not much chocolate. And now it's kind of like, boom, I mean, it's just chocolate and the vanilla, and it's so much better. So, we're going to upgrade it. We're not going to raise the price on it, and we're going to just eat that cost just to improve the quality.
Really? Because that was my next question. I wanted to give people some understanding of why it might cost more on the shelf, because you're going for higher quality ingredients, but you'll just lose on the margin to make sure you get it right?
To start, I mean, it's not... It's the whole cost isn't double. It's just the double cost
on that
in the
part.
chocolate,
Yeah.
which isn't a significant amount just yet. But I mean,
but this should be part of your you know this, so forgive me for preaching to the choir. It should be part of your education process, right? Where you're really talking to people like, we tried to do it cheaper for you, and it didn't taste like that.
It totally is a selling point, and we kind of have different price points on a lot of our bombers, and we don't. I mean, it's hard with craft beer to have line item pricing. I mean, I'm sure a lot of breweries deal with that, and but this new chocolate could take it to the next tier of say, some of the things like Rush Hour that you have on tap, or something that's extremely hoppy. That hops are obviously an expensive commodity.
Sure,
so we'll see. Right now, we're just gonna see how it goes, and if it significantly changes the impact of what our local drinkers think, then and the prices keep going up because it could change significantly, then we'll have to adjust the price.
What's your distribution profile? Are you self-distributed and for
we have
draft,
3 distributors actually.
Oh, you actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we only self-distribute to a few places like the Hop Grenade and a few other places outside of the.
But you're allowed to do that.
We are. Yeah.
And then what counties are those? What are those 3 distributors? What area? Fresno County, of course.
So Fresno, Bakersfield, and then Forest has Modesto.
Yeah. How does beer get to like what am I thinking?
Us or
no? We're the
Bakersfield. We brought it to you
personally. People watching Half Dome, how do they get to?
Experience
the beer. How does it get to them?
Packaged.
They're drinking packaged.
Yeah,
beer?
packaged and draft.
Okay.
That's our North Valley distributor.
Okay, that comes out of there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're struggling right now just to keep up with our own demand, and obviously we don't want to oversell and have problems with the retailers. Our long-term game plan is probably to build a larger plant to do our core beers in, and turn the one we're in now into something that makes a lot of the specialty beers, which, I mean, some people might say like, wow, you guys came out of nowhere the last couple of years, but it's like we only had like 6 tanks.
Right.
And we were trying to produce our core beers just to build that foundation. Our hands as brewers were tied for quite a while.
Yeah.
And as we've now expanded to like 24 tanks, it gives us a little bit more freedom to throw these specials out, do some barrel aging without, running out of all our core beers. But we have to be careful not to expand our market too far. We won't be able to do that either.
Sure.
So we're trying to do both in a managed way so that we can grow intelligently.
There's some good heads on your shoulders over there.
I mean, places outside the valley, it's kind of more brand building. We're kind of seeing what the demographic, the more competitive craft beer drinker, the more experience, I guess you can say.
See how we do in that market.
How do we do that? How do our brands represent? How do our flavors, our beers, just as a recipe in general? How do they? How do people react to them?
I'm pretty sure we only get it because Forrest wants to come get drunk at the Hop Grenade with us. So you got to do it right.
Yeah,
expand slowly when Forrest feels like having a beer somewhere else. He's like, "All right, guys, I want to take a different freeway this week. So how about I bring some beer with me?" This beer is amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah, you're doing
Thank
good
you.
things. Questions from the chat room. It's actually going back to the chili beer.
Okay.
Homebrewers want to know. Let's see. Do you think? Because they want to know. So after the Friday when the glycol quit, what? It's going to be hard to answer, I think. Do you think maybe the yeast was past the replication phase when it finally started to heat up, and maybe that would explain why it didn't give you a bunch of off flavors or something else. Is that possible, or was it maybe still even too short of a time frame that it was during every phase of fermentation?
I mean, I could probably answer that a little better if it was more around the time that happened.
Sure. This was in the beginning of the brewery, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, this was a long time ago, and I don't remember what generation it was. I don't remember if it was the first. So I mean, it would only be speculatory.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't indeed a first generation and it was propped up pretty quickly, that would explain why it was so fast. Because the yeast cell building process for us, the viability and the pitching rate that we do. We don't have a lot of lag time. I mean, it's going usually within an hour or two.
Wow, nice.
And I'm a real big believer from boil to bubbling.
Yeah.
Everything in between there, and nothing good can happen usually.
Good call. It's like after midnight, nothing.
So
good
chances
happens.
are it did have a high rate of yeast pitch and a high rate of colony growth pretty early. Whether that would cause what gentleman was asking or the gal, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
It's in reference to something we've talked about here with one of our hosts of another show here, Jamil, brewer at Heretic. He owns Heretic Brewing Company. He's always told us the most important time to manage temperature in your fermentation is that first phase of fermentation where the yeast cells are still replicating. And if you can really just manage that temperature zone, you can almost heat up afterward because the off flavors happen during that period of time. And so I think they're just kind of referencing that. Like maybe it got past that
That's an
moment.
interesting possibility because I don't know when the glycol went out. It might have been 3 in the morning and it was already going good. And so now, like you just said, it might have been a situation where you're not going to pick up all those esters because it's already gone through its growing phase.
You might have just had an aggressive diacetyl rest at 90 degrees.
That's right. Or you might just be the luckiest brewer on earth because you didn't have to dump the batch.
Yes. That is one thing. I mean,
that early on.
We've had a few issues like all brewers do, and that's one thing we haven't had to do yet. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Be proud of that. You can pat yourself on the back for that one and tell Mike to go do something else for a little while.
I can't take the claim for that.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, let's try another beer before we run out of time, and we probably ought to get to that IPA, which I've actually really enjoyed in the past, if we have that, too.
We do. I was right about to pour the Imperial Breakfast Stout, getting into the wax-sealed stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pass it around first so I can finish my... I don't want to chug my...
I know, it's so good, right? I reluctantly gulped my last sip.
Yeah, I have a lot of this chili beer. I can't drink it.
Too hot?
Yeah, I can't drink it fast enough. So now I'm like, okay, well, great. You guys enjoyed the thing, and I'll just
get him another glass.
Here, you sissy.
No, I want to drink it.
Is that my mug? He handed him my mug.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah, dump it in there.
That I was using as a dump mug for a while there.
No, sissy. I'm just sensitive.
Sensitive to heat. I used to be, but now it's great.
No, I mean it's got. I don't want to drink it because it's good, but I think it'll burn a hole in my gut if I have like 4 ounces at a time.
So you guys run a lager yeast still, right? And what's your ale yeast? What's it like? Is it like our California ale yeast or something like that?
I use a Bavarian yeast for my lager. Okay. More or less, I make Tamarack or Amber Märzen style with that, and occasionally a variant or a different lager one-off. But for the most part, that's all I use the lager yeast for. We use, like I said, the standard wit yeast for the half dome, and the lion's share of our beers are Cal Ale. I've been using Cal Ale for so many years, and hey, I don't care what anybody says. That yeast is so solid. It lets me as a brewer express myself.
Exactly.
Lets my brewers express themselves.
Yeah.
And it doesn't talk much. It just cooperates.
It just cooperates. That's what you want.
And
it's like the perfect co-host to me.
Doesn't let you down.
I think sometimes
too soon.
Sometimes people try to outthink everything, and they end up not accomplishing what they really wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
It's always good to change, but sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about the beer that's in our glass now, then. What is it? Okay. Midnight what?
Midnight Rush.
Okay.
This is our first barrel project. We had our Rush Hour Breakfast Stout and our Midnight Lightning Imperial Stout. Quick story on both those beers. Midnight Lightning is our base Imperial Stout. That was really a collaboration of myself and one of my former brewers, Todd Holder, who you probably know from Chalk Brewing. He worked for me for about a year, and he pilot brewed a Imperial Stout that to me was too aggressive. It was too dark malt, but it aged really well. And then I had a recipe that was really good up early but didn't age as well. So we decided to just collaborate and put the two together and make an absolutely seamless version, and that's what Midnight Lightning is. Our current head brewer, Lee Morphew, came up with the name. He wanted it for a different beer, but we thought it was perfect for that beer. So it's really a collaboration of the three brewers perfectly.
Nice.
But anyway, that's our barrel-aged version mixed with our Rush Hour, which is our current head brewer, Lee Morphew. He's worked for us for about 2 years. He worked at Rock Bottom in Colorado, and he kind of brought a lot of the progression to the brewery when he started. Very progressive in Denver, and he just wanted to make all this crazy stuff. And it was like one of the first things that he did was create Rush Hour, and it was really kind of funny because my first reaction to it, I hadn't had a breakfast stout before, was that there was too much coffee in it. Because, I'm so used to as a brewer thinking things got to be in balance and you don't want it to overshadow the beer. I was just kind of like, but that's why I hire guys like that.
Yeah. Get you out of your box.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when everybody else is going, dude, this is great, I'm like, okay.
Right.
And so, of course, now, I'm educated to the style, and, it's obviously really good. It's his signature beer, and he makes a spin-off of it called Piece of Cake, which has toasted coconut and vanilla in it. It's probably by far the best beer we make, and I think it could put us on the map.
Wow.
Yeah. And, pretty excited about that, to release that in a bigger way.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short again, trying
You're all right.
Midnight Lightning, Rush Hour. When they were barrel-aged, the Rush Hour thinned out a little bit, lost the coffee a little bit. The Midnight Lightning was a little boozy. It was a little strong at the time when we wanted to do the blend. And so the combination of the two, we were struggling with how we were going to do it, and we changed it like more than once, the blend. But what we ended up finally doing was we put almost a 50-50 blend of the two beers to give it the body and texture but still be elegant. And then we added back coffee so that you wouldn't lose all of it from the Rush Hour, but not over the top. And so what you have is something that's really fine. It's almost elegant. It's not like a big, thick beer like you expect some barrel-aged beers. It's just super fine, and I really like it. I think it's really killer.
And how long was it barrel-aged, the barrel-aged portion?
It was pretty close to, about 8 months when we did this, or 9?
Yeah, so the Rush Hour barrels there was one or two that were like 3 months, so they were still pretty fresh.
All right, so you made another batch went in
then, then we had some that were about 9 months that we blended, but the Midnight Lightning was a good solid 10, 11 months.
10, 11 months, wow.
So it's not only is a blend between two different beers, but probably two different types of bourbon barrels, and for different times. So
were these like well-used bourbon barrels? Like I'm not getting a lot of bourbon character.
They're actually it's Breckenridge, so they're not Kentucky bourbon. They're it's a bourbon like whiskey that.
Did you part of the reason for that started to break in is those 3-month-old ones. They was really boozy at one time, and then the younger ones were drier barrels because the other ones were really wet and they came out really boozy. The ones that were drier came out more oaky. And so that was kind of Michael's contribution. We were all sitting around, and he goes, well, let's use some of these oak ones and mellow out the booziness and add that component. And then it was really good. And then later I came in and put more Midnight Lightning in it because I wasn't happy with the texture. And then we put more coffee in it. And basically at the end of the day, you have this, and we're like, oh, hell yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Collaboration within the same brewery is what people should be talking about. That's great.
It's very, very good. What is the ABV?
It's listed 9.8, but I think when we actually got the results back from White Labs, it was like 10.1, 10.2.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't taste for that alcohol.
No.
It's nice and dry and well balanced, and it's really great.
It's not a characteristic you associate with barrel-aged beers, dryness. Is it?
Not always. Yeah,
usually they're filling sweet.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic beer.
Going back to that chili beer.
Yes,
I
sir.
just finished
That you just
mine.
had to finish?
I
Yeah.
just had to finish.
Yeah.
I think that's a new game we should play. Do you guys have any more of this? Because we
man.
should do shots.
Okay.
Who can? Because I'm trying to drink it half an ounce at a time because these little tiny fucking tasting glasses you guys have.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to get, so you have to get a little bit at a time. Like throw it back. This would be a great shot game. How many can you do?
Can you do?
Like we all try them at the same time, and who bails out first is a loser.
I actually did.
Forrest says he's got the game in hand.
I actually played beer pong with chili beer on my bachelor party.
Ouch!
It was not fun. It was not fun. But
Wow.
yeah.
And the game's already been played, JP.
How did it go? I mean, were you all right?
It was the.
How was the toilet the next morning?
It wasn't white anymore.
Projectile vomiting, I think, was one of the things.
Yeah, that'll get you first.
I'll give you a sore throat.
Yeah, talking about burning on the way.
Yeah.
I think, or like a good punishment for the show. Like we need to, like something. You need to have a chug a pint of this if you do something weird.
Like when Beardy won't shut the F up, we make him drink a pint.
He's been quiet the whole time. It's been great.
Yeah, pint of
something like
chili
that.
beer.
Because it hurts, but it's so good.
I don't think it. I didn't feel like it hurt at all.
Drink more of it.
I drank just as much. It didn't hurt.
The more you drink, the more it kind of layers your throat a little bit.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
It compounds after a little while.
Somewhat, yeah. That's what I've gotten.
My bottom lip is a little tingly. Like, it's
spicy.
It's pretty good.
You're Greek. That's the problem.
That's racist.
Yes.
Do Greeks not like spicy food? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Apparently it is.
There's no spicy food in Greece.
Sure there is. There's baka coca.
You have no idea.
Sure.
Greek's like the most mild.
No, it's the fekaloutis.
Feta. Most mild cheese
That's
ever.
spicy. It is not mild. You're insane. Brie is more mild than feta.
Are you in... Raise your hand in this room right now if feta is a spicy cheese.
Feta stinks to high heaven, doesn't it?
It's not. But
what is wrong with you
is
people?
It spicy or not?
No,
It
it's
has
neither
a
spicy or stinky.
Sharpness. Like I didn't say it was stinky. It smells great.
I don't think you have ever eaten cheese, either one of you.
It's the white crumbly stuff on the salad, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that stuff stinks.
God.
You're the guy that likes the stinky French cheeses, though.
It's
Justin,
not blue cheese, but Greeks like blue cheese.
It smells.
Kevin's the guy with the good palate in the room. Kevin, feta. Strong cheese?
Stronger than Brie.
Not even close to stronger than Brie.
Italian face.
That's
okay,
ridiculous.
Mr. Ricotta.
I take it back everything I've said about your beer.
Yeah, a second ago you had a palate.
You're the worst brewer ever.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Good enough. Damn it. Now I want more chili beer.
Yeah, I want more cheese.
But in fairness, they're both pretty mild.
Yeah, they are pretty mild, yeah. But calling feta really mild cheese is
lucky
is
you're a great
affront.
erroneous.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's character.
As mild as it gets.
Oh, please.
Whatever.
It's like with Kraft singles.
That is a sharp cheddar if I've ever had one.
All right, it's not that bad. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to try some IPA before we get out of here.
All right.
We've got some more things to do tonight as well, but we're not done with Tioga-Sequoia because I remember at a time when I was really getting turned off by IPAs, Forrest gave us some bombers of your IPA, and I was like, well, shit. Turns out they're still good. So I want to make sure we talk a little bit about some hoppy beers with these guys. So hang in there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more from Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company. 888-401-BEER. I see some questions in the chat. Hit the chat button on the homepage. You can do it that way, too. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad mad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
If you don't know Yeastman, you're missing out. White Labs Yeast Manager, Yeastman, is available free to any brewer. Yeastman is your direct link to White Labs yeast production facility. Yes, you can check yeast availability, and yes, you can place an order, but Yeastman is much more. View yeast quality control and analytical reports. See your big QC Day entries and reports. Get access to the entire White Labs catalog, specials on overruns of freshly made yeast, and customized options for your account. Yeastman is the only real-time online ordering in the business connected directly to factory production. Yeastman is always on and always live. It's the largest online marketplace for specialty brewers yeast and related products. Visit yeastman.com today and tap directly into White Labs production facility. Gonna brew? Yeastman to the rescue.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Adventures in Homebrewing have the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the Serial Killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-sized brew pots. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. Brewing Network listeners receive 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code IPA at checkout. See terms and conditions for full details.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks back to the program. Thanks for sticking back. Thanks for the program.
Thanks back for the program.
Thanks back. That's going to be my new...
Thanks back.
Hey, thanks back, everybody.
Yeah. That could catch on.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's my new signature.
I like it.
Thanks back to the program.
It's easy to read.
Thanks back.
If I had my show, that's the way the whole thing would sound.
Yeah, everything.
One flub after another.
Yeah.
Flub.
All right. Hey, let me let you know real quick about Beersmith homebrewing software. I used it this weekend myself to brew a great nut brown ale. It worked out really well. Go to beersmith.com and check it out. You can get a free 21-day trial of the software. It works on PC and Mac. And you don't have to take my word for it, and I don't know why you would anyway.
I heard you even hit your numbers with it.
Oh, I nailed it!
Beersmith.
Beersmith.
It's a miracle worker.
This is Beersmith's new slogan. Beersmith. Even Justin can use it.
Right. Thanks back, Beersmith.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks back. Exactly right. Go to beersmith.com. Check it out right now. It's a great piece of brewing software. All right, so before we have to wrap it up with the Tioga-Sierra, guys, I wanted to talk about their IPA because it's good. And I mean, this is like I said, like I was saying before the break. This is one of those beers that I was just like on. Oh, okay, I don't need to have any IPAs anymore. And Forrest brought us some, and it was this one. In fact, the is it General Sherman?
The General Sherman.
Yeah, it was this. I believe he brought me a bomber of it.
Just so you know, Justin, their name is Sequoia, Nevada.
Whatever.
Not Tioga-Sierra.
That's all I'm saying. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. In fact, you can go to their website right now, which is what?
Tioga-Sequoia.
There. Then you get it all correct if you just go to Tioga-Sequoia.com.
That's weird that their website's backwards.
.blogspot.org.
Yeah, I just sent everybody to some like weird retreat in the hills with naked people.
Where you like scream at the moon and beat drums and shit.
Yeah, primal scream therapy.
Absolutely.
It works wonders.
So the beer got dropped off to me, and I'm not going to lie, Forrest, I ignored it for a little while because I was like, oh, it's another IPA. But then, knowing that I should try it fresh because you went through the trouble of getting it to us, I finally opened it before a show one day and went, oh, people still make great IPAs. This is a really good beer. So I wanted to talk about it with you guys a little bit. Tell us about the beer, please, Kevin.
Well, I'm pretty proud of this one. I designed this one quite a while ago, at least 6-7 years ago. It was designed as one of the 3 initial core brands that this particular company was going to make, along with Half Dome and Tamarack. And, I wanted to make something that was pushing the realm of the double dry hop, but not being a double dry hop. At the time, remember 6 years ago, it was, pretty aggressive. It has a backbone of Centennial and Simcoe and Northern Brewers, and pretty much the entire finish on the original Sherman, which this is Cascade and Crystal. I fell in love with that combination of hops a while back, and I really wanted to blow it up in this beer. And over the years, it's changed a little bit. It's become higher IBU. It probably has jumped about 10 IBUs just due to the times.
To what? What is it now?
It's probably around 65.
Okay.
And it's very back-end loaded. That's kind of my thing. I'm not the only one that does that, but I've been making IPAs for a long time, and I've always been heavy-handed in the back end. It's just kind of my thing.
Okay.
Classic West Coast style, if you will. But and one of the big things that happened almost simultaneously a couple of years ago was, we would put Sherman out, and our bottling line put a lot of air in the bottle. And so it was really hard for it to stay fresh for any length of time, so it was kind of double jeopardy. And the other thing was, right around the time we got a better bottling line and got our DOs to microscopic numbers, so the beer would stay fresh longer.
When was that new bottling line? A couple years ago?
A couple years ago. It's kind of when we turned the corner.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that because the first year, I don't know if it was you, Forrest, or somebody else. Have you been coming to the Winterfest every time?
The first year was me and Todd.
So the first year, you guys gave me some bottles too, and they weren't all that awesome. And so I'm really glad to hear you say that because I think it was just a packaging problem. Because then when Forrest came back and gave us beer, and like I said, I was like, well, I'm going to get to that. It was really a night and day. It was such a better beer.
Well, like I said, it was a combination of 2 things. One, obviously, was the freshness factor, and the second one was when Lee went to work for us. Where he was working was doing a different dry hopping technique, and he kind of went, well, what are you doing? And So the big difference
Helped
was
adjust
instead of just dry hopping the beer, what we do is it sits for a day after just dumping it in. We're talking pellets. And then we blow it up with CO2 so that, essentially what's happening is when the hops first go in, they're kind of solid and they're dropped to the bottom in the form of pellets, and then they turn into a mud. So you can only picture that it's probably not doing a hell of a lot down there because it's all just sitting.
Okay.
So the whole idea is to blast them, and they go up into solution, and then they become particleized, and it takes like several days for it to fall back out. But during that time, that's where you get the contact with the dry hops, and that was like big-time game changer.
Nice.
So now the same amount of dry hopping was much more intense in the aroma. And like I said, it almost happened simultaneously where now the beer is fresh and the dry hopping's better. It's still the same beer, but now it's like got those two things going on, and it really changed it.
Yeah. That's 2012.
Okay.
That's when all this pretty much changed for us.
Okay.
All right, so you drop the yeast before you add the dry hop.
Actually, we don't.
You don't? Okay.
Yeah. We did at first, but we stopped doing that because we were getting such high losses, and it didn't really seem to make a difference.
Right.
Losses of what? Volume?
Well,
of
every
beer?
time you have to pull yeast, you keep losing some solution. And if you keep doing that more than, several times, you lose that volume. And IPAs, they're notorious for eating up your volume anyway. You lose it in the trub in the kettle. You lose it in the, it's a higher alcohol, so it's got more yeast trub. There's just a lot more stuff to lose. So your net is significantly less.
Okay.
Your costs are higher because of the hops, and it doesn't work till you go on the bottom line.
There's a brewery in Santa Rosa that just started doing that last year where they...
Who's that?
I don't know, just some brewery. And there you have a lab guy, and he did some lab work looking for is there an autolysis effect, by leaving it on the yeast and all that? Or are we losing? No. So all they do is if they're going to harvest yeast for another pitch, they'll take that off, but they don't take the rest off. They leave it. They just say that's enough because we're just taking beer now
during the dry hop period too.
Yeah,
they don't. Yeah,
if they're not going to harvest anything, they don't drop the yeast at all.
Interesting.
Right. So we had success too. I mean, it's just kind of obviously coincidental, but for us, that's the reason we stopped doing it. It was just trying to get our volume up a little bit, and we noticed that it didn't make any difference. So, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was kind of what that's all about. And then of course we make a double dry hop version, which it gets an extra ration of hops, and we didn't want to change the bloodline. It was kind of like, okay, that certain person in Santa Rosa who's kind of pushed the envelope. Do we want to go there with Sherman when it's so successful? And it's kind of good the way it is. So we left it alone, and then we take regular Sherman that's, I can just pick one and dry hop it again on top of the original dry hops, and that becomes a double dry hop version, and we don't filter that one.
Interesting. Okay.
And
I bet people love that one too.
Yeah,
you
we
have
hit both ends of the market instead of changing this beer that's the best-selling IPA in the valley.
Yeah.
Do you do the similar technique of on the second dry hopping, wait a day and then stir it up again, or do you just let that second one?
It's the same thing. We stir it up again and basically do that, and then we also do a triple dry hop version, which is basically not the single dry hop along with the double dry hops and then some more. We basically do the single dry hop, and then we add a significant amount of one type of hop. Whether right now we have a Nelson, and we've done Zythos and all kinds of different ones, Amarillo and Citra, of course, and it's kind of like a single hop series. I mean, it dramatically changes the beer. It's just a base Sherman, but when you jack it up with all these dry hops, it just completely changes it, and it gives the people a picture of what all these different hops taste like without being. I've had a lot of single dry hops or a lot of IPA single hops that were just too over the top. And by doing it this way, it's almost like it's just featuring the flavor because it's just dry hop. Yeah. And so, that's just something that I don't want to say invented because I'm sure everybody's done it somewhere because you can't do anything that someone hadn't done already. But, really, we work in our own world and we try different things. Yeah. And that's something we've done that our public has really embraced. And that's something that eventually we'll bottle probably.
So you've noticed an increase in aroma with doing the stirring? Because I wonder about you're blowing off some aromatics also of the hops that you've just dumped in.
Honestly, it was night and day. You know, I mean,
An increase then.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, I think it really has to do with the hop bodies, you know, going up into solution, taking a long time and a lot of contact time instead of sitting in a cone. You know? So it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, and
no,
so
the,
it's kinda like,
cone is
wow.
the place to minimize surface area.
Right.
Which works for yeast, but when it's for dry hopping, no, it's not good at all.
Right. So it was just a simple change, but it was a dramatic change.
Sure. My first thought was like, oh, but you might be losing some aroma, but obviously you're stirring it back up.
Which you probably are, but there's a net gain
Exactly.
anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So,
The net is positive.
I have a question from the chat.
Yes.
This is from Thud Monkey. He asks, how many fucking dry hops do they do? What the fuck?
A very concise question.
Pretty good for our listeners.
Yeah.
It's got 2 fucks in there, too.
I believe they're following my lead tonight. Yeah.
The idea is you dry hop everything. That's
all the time.
All the time. Everything all the time.
Yeah.
That's your new T-shirt. Dry hops. Everything all the time.
You know, it goes along the lines of the same thing I was talking about earlier. You know, I mean, a lot of people, and, you know, for instance, like Stone's original beers, they were just so hop forward in the front. And that's great. A lot of people like that, but that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like subtleness in the front and balance and a lot of flavor of the hop. So that is why we dry hop the you-know-what out of everything, because that's our style. You know, and my brewers like that too. I mean, it's not that we won't make any hop forward beers. I mean, certainly like our black IPA has more forward hops than most of them, and that's another beer that Lee designed. And that's fine, because some people like that. And I understand that as a brewer. I can't just go, well, you know, you're wrong.
Sure.
You know, so you make different things for different people, just like I make 99. You know, I don't sit around and drink that either. But it's a purpose beer.
Yeah. Mike, don't get rid of this brewer.
I can't.
Because
he's a built-in vacuum.
He knows what he's doing. He's open to all these ideas and willing to just listen and change and evolve. And
he's a mentor to his staff, too.
Yeah, don't get rid of this man.
For me, Kevin has been, you know, me and him together. It's like the not to put us in different age groups, but it's kind of the current modern ideas that I see and that I drink and I travel and I'm a beer geek. And Kevin's just got all this experience. I mean, he's a veteran brewer, and he could make anything any idea I have happen.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been a great.
It would be a little bit of a lie to say that I'm as fired up today as I was when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So you kind of have to be a realist, you know. And like he said, I mean, I have an open mind and I have my skills, and if you combine that with, you know, Mike's talents and his palate and his staff, and my young brewers that are trying to cut their teeth.
And their enthusiasm.
And I don't, you know, bridle that. Who's going to benefit?
Yeah.
You know, we all are.
That's right.
And that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
This is kind of what I mean. I really like your attitude about this, Kevin. You're a good brewer. You're a good guy, I can tell. And I bet your staff loves you. Your brew staff probably has a lot of fun brewing with you. This is good shit, boys. Thanks for bringing it in. We have it on tap right now at the Hop Grenade. We've got more to put on tap, I do believe. We've got bottles that are going to go in the fridge. So in the Bay Area, I think right here in Bay Area local, the only place you can get it is our place right now, right? Is that right? Okay. And Scott's Scott probably has.
We did bring extra bottles.
No, you can't get it there. That's only for me.
Right. Scott can get it at Scott's house.
Stuff
Yeah, it's that with the rare barrel.
It's in my fridge. I'm saving it for our 10th anniversary private
I
thing.
saw it at Poker Night, so it still exists.
We already got some at Poker Night. Hey,
got some.
Got some? What?
Yeah.
No,
Weird.
you served a rare barrel, but you specifically said this is not the
Oh, it's
BN
the map of the
stash.
sun. Yeah, that was my own one. Yeah. No, it was.
Right.
I do buy
So
beer
he
from
won't
them.
even. I'm at his house, and he still won't share the BN stuff.
I want to make a challenge to you, Mike, because clearly you're the architect, and then Kevin's he's the engineer, right? So you bring him the idea, and then he's got to make it happen. So it happens in construction sometimes where the engineers go, well, we can't. I mean, your idea is fantastic, but we can't build this. It's not possible. So maybe you try and accomplish that. Try and bring him an idea where he goes, this is not brewable. It's a great idea, but can't execute it. See if you can stump him.
Yeah,
Stump your brewer.
I mean, we've done a lot of that, and I think it's the challenge, like he said, is getting the paint. He knows how to paint the picture, but without giving him the actual paint to make it. Sometimes that's where his limits are, but
especially as you guys grow, it'll get tougher.
Yeah, I mean, we can do anything once, but it's making it a constant thing. That's really the challenge, I think.
You guys are going to be
us.
fine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. Kevin, stop stressing out about anything. You're fine. Everything's going to go great.
Yeah. Global warming, don't worry about it.
Whatever.
It's not real anyway.
The drought? Forget about it.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's going to rain in Fresno one day.
Yeah.
For one day.
One day.
In your life. It's going to rain one day in Fresno. You guys are doing great. You can go over to Tioga-Sequoia.com right now. You can read more about the beers. Great website, too. Very informative. It's easy to use, so you guys are doing well on the branding side.
Yeah.
Also, I'm proud of you boys. You're doing good.
Thank you. We actually have one thing I know I wanted to mention. We have this big event that we do. It's kind of an anniversary party. Being from Fresno, obviously we like to promote the good things about it. So this event is
We're
actually
very proud to be Fresno.
Yes, we are.
So we promote the two good things.
Right, yeah.
One of them is this event.
It's a short pitch. And the other is our beer.
And the third is leaving.
That's those were our words, not Tioga's, everybody. Go ahead.
So we came up with this thing. I mean, it's a popular phrase in Fresno to say Frez Yes. And what we have this Saturday, March 14th, is called Frez Yes Fest in our beer garden. We actually open up the entire parking lot, so it's not just the beer garden that we have normal hours. It's the whole parking. Our warehouse, we clean out all the grain. You can go, like I said, throughout the whole 30,000 square foot parking lot. We have a variety of bands, food trucks that line the whole side of the fence. We've got local vendors and artists and food. And it's basically an event that celebrates all the good things about Fresno.
Okay, beautiful.
This March 14th from 1 to 11.
People need to get tickets ahead of time, or
it's free.
Okay,
so free to attend.
Wow.
Obviously, food and beers is what we charge, but it's free to attend. And I think last year we got about 1,800 people.
Nice.
This year we're hoping for a little bit more, and we got a little bit more things to offer.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we're excited.
All right. So go check it out. You can probably get information about that on the website, too?
Yes.
All right. Tioga-Sequoia.com, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for sharing beer with us.
Having us.
It was really fun to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank Forrest, too, for reaching out to us all these couple of years and keeping you guys in our minds and getting us beer down here at the Hop Grenade, too, when we need it, doing Winterfest. You've been a good guy to us, Forrest, so thanks, brother. All right, go check them out. Tioga-Sequoia.com. It's great beer, and I think you're going to enjoy it. You don't have to take our word for it. Just go try it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got a lot to do. We're going to tell you about our collaboration brew day. We're going to play a new game called Things Justin Should Know. But I probably don't.
This show's never going to end.
We toyed calling it Is Justin Really an Idiot? But it's kind of one and the same. That and feedback and a little bit more. So hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
The National Homebrew Conference is coming up this summer, and More Beer wants to send you. To celebrate 20 years of serving homebrewers, More Beer is giving away 2 full pass registrations to the 2015 National Homebrew Conference, June 10th through 13th. That's right, 2 full passes, full access to all the presentations, club night, and pro brewers night, 2 seats to the grand banquet and awards ceremony, 2 one-year membership gift cards to the American Homebrewers Association, 4-night stay at the beautiful Town and Country Resort, round-trip airfare to and from the San Diego airport, 2 VIP passes to the Brewing Network's own anniversary party, a $250 prepaid Visa gift card for food and your other expenses, and dinner with the More Beer crew. Visit morebeer.com for all the details, and to enter, you can enter once a day through April 15th, and the winner will be drawn on April 25th. If you've already purchased your registration to the event and seats to the grand banquet, those fees can be refunded. Enter today at morebeer.com.
Tonight is the night.
We bring the creature to life, Dr. Blitzmingstein?
Yes, J.P. Gore. Everything is perfect for my next fermented creation.
But Roger, the storm is too far away. We'll never have enough power to isomerize the creature's alpha acid.
Yes, J.P. Gore, we will. For I have in my possession the Tower of Power.
Wickman
Brewing's new Tower of Power is the evolution of automation. Control hot liquor, sparge, and mash temps like a pro. The Tower of Power is a high-quality gas-fired rim system that works with your current brewing setup. With ultra precision, the tower can hold your mash to 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. Precision and repeatability. The Tower of Power is the answer to automatic, fast ramp times. See more at BlickmanEngineering.com. Bring your next creation to life with the Tower of Power.
Dr. Blickmanstein, with the Tower of Power, you can probably give me an afternoon at the pub to enjoy a pint.
Don't be silly, J.P. Gore. We have beer to brew.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the session, live from the Hop Grenade. Having a good time.
What? You don't get to open shit,
JP
Mike.
just took a gift away from Mike Sardina and threw it on the floor.
Yeah.
Because
I won't be part of your system.
Apparently he doesn't get to open things.
No.
If JP doesn't get one, why should anybody else?
Right.
Speaking of opening things, I struggled mightily with the last wax-sealed bottle, so could someone want to open this one for me?
Let Beardy do it. He
He
seems to be a professional with wax.
Yeah.
JP, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Are you getting enough?
No.
I mean, I bet you'd like more, right?
I would love more, as a matter of fact.
AdamandEve.com wants to give you more.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they do. What do you think about 10 free gifts?
I love 10 free. It's better than 9.
It's way better than 9.
Yeah.
It's at least one more better than 9.
Right.
The only thing you're getting enough of is free gifts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go to AdamandEve.com right now, and you're going to get first a sexy surprise for her.
Wow.
I don't know who she is, but her.
She doesn't know either.
He's a him, though.
Yeah, she's not even born yet.
Susie's
for Susie.
So a sexy surprise for Susie.
Score for
This is
Susie.
what you're going to get, JP.
Which, by the way, do you know Susie used to be called Susie No Tits? That was her nickname in, what was it, high school, Susie?
Yeah, when she was 4 years old.
Middle school.
Really?
Yeah. Is No Tits...
In middle school, too. Who was calling people no tits in
I know, right?
7th grade?
Dude, my sister
Junior
was
hires?
like, the term over-the-shoulder boulder holders was about my sister when we were in high school.
Oh, I see.
In middle school.
So-
and they're like, you got the leftovers, which is nothing.
Yeah, but in middle school, over-the-shoulder boulder holder means like half an A cup because you're overcharged.
She was a D cup.
Wow.
She's stuffed.
So what'd you do? Get a hold of the monkey's claw and ask for big tits or something?
No, I had a gig. I talked to my tits every day until they grew.
Oh.
It worked.
It worked?
So is that a category on Adam and Eve? I told her, busty Asian, if she's ever hard up.
I don't think
she's
it's a
got or
category,
rear.
nor are they giving away larger breasts. But they are giving away now a second toy for him.
Oh, who's him? Is that me or is that...
In this case, it's you, JP.
Nice.
And then a third, a little something that you'll both enjoy. Both you and Susie.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Great. Sure Shane will like that.
Yeah. So that's 3 gifts right now. Then 6 free adult DVDs.
That's a lot.
That's 9 items, then free shipping on all of it. Go to AdamandEve.com right now. Use coupon code BNARMY. It's BNARMY at checkout, and you get all that stuff. I don't know why you would do it any other way, because any other way you're standing in a creepy store in Richmond with other people looking at you. And by the way, I don't care if that's Richmond, Virginia, or Richmond, California, or Richmond, Nebraska. I'm pretty sure every Richmond in America is the same, and it has the creepy store that you shouldn't be standing in.
That's true.
Go to AdamandEve.com instead. There you go. So we got a new game, 888-401-BEER, if you want to play. It looks like we got room for 2 new contestants. So we'll wait for a couple new contestants. 888-401-BEER, we're going to play Is Justin an Idiot? / Things Justin Should Know.
Right.
It's really the same thing.
Yeah, it is really the same thing.
Can you do the scorekeeping, Jeff? I'm doing the audio.
And I'll give you the quick rundown right now. Basically, the game is, after 10 years of doing this program and listening to some of the best brewers in America, like Kevin here from Tioga-Sequoia, there are things about brewing that I should know, but I probably don't. So I've been asked a series of questions, and I have answered them. It's already been recorded. What you'll be doing as a contestant is guessing whether or not I know the answer to these questions.
Very tough. Very challenging.
They're all about brewing. They're all about the brewing process. Things that most advanced homebrewers should know. And by advanced, I probably
keynote speaker should know as well.
Any keynote speaker should know the answers to these questions.
Yes.
I did not know the questions ahead of time. They were asked me. I was not allowed to Google or look anything up. The question was asked, and I then had to, could I just deliver an answer? Like I should be able to do.
Not only an answer, but the answer.
The correct answer.
Right answer.
Right. And of course, our challenge is to say whether you'll know it or not.
That's correct. So am I an idiot?
Now I feel bad for throwing Mike's shirt in the corner.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Just now you started to feel bad about it?
Because I feel like he's like looking at me going,
he does.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Mike does look hurt.
He's still in the same room. It's all right.
At least you came to that realization.
See? Every step is progress.
Yeah. You know, the thing about being an asshole is that as long as you realize you're an asshole, then Mike will forgive you.
Well, it seemed funny at the time, and I'm like, that was cool. And then I'm like, that wasn't cool.
Right. No, I'm just like, it's so far away.
See?
You had to go and throw it.
Mike's like, all I wanted was that shirt.
Right. You want to grab that for me?
It was given to me. No, I'm going to let it linger.
Like a fart.
I'm going to let that linger. All right, so while we're waiting for our last callers here to play the game along with us, I just wanted to talk quickly about our Collaboration Brew Day. So, Quaff, the homebrew club from San Diego, one of the biggest homebrew clubs in America, I was talking with those guys at GABF with their president, and they said, hey, you know what we ought to do is a Collaboration Brew Day with the Brewing Network Club. Since all you guys are going to invade San Diego and the National Homebrewers Conference, maybe we can brew some beer ahead of time, and then we'll serve it at the conference. So that's exactly what we did this past Saturday at Heretic Brewing Company, where Brewing Network Club members teamed up with Quaff Club members, and we brewed some beer. And we're going to, by the way, try to do it again down in San Diego, I think, at the end of April is what we're looking at. So I'll get those dates out to you, too, especially BN Army members. I know that Quaff is all on board, and they're there just waiting in San Diego to brew some beer, so we just need some BN Army members to get down there and do it. So we had a brew day. I teamed up with Mike, actually. He's a Quaff member.
Absolutely.
As well. And Mike wrote the recipe for us. Beardy brewed that day, but he just... Beardy teamed up with his beard.
Well,
technically Jamel.
Yeah, Jamel kind of jumped on my brew day.
Weird.
And
Jamel's a quaffer.
Yeah. Well, right. And so he said, hey, I'm a quaffer. We're collaborating now.
Good.
And so, I collaborated with Jamel.
So he was like, put this in the beer, and then he left.
Well, I mean, it was typical professional collaboration. He didn't even put anything in the beer. He just stood around next to where the beer was being brewed.
Yeah.
And drank beer.
He did stand there most of the day, though.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so he did his job as a professional collaborator.
Yeah, that's what Beard is saying. By the way, he's talking about you.
Jamil's been around the bar. Right. He knows how to do it.
Yeah.
He saw me.
Yeah. Right. It's like, this is how you collaborate.
Yeah. Like, the recipe? Oh, great. Let's do this.
So we had some other collaborators there, too. Nathan Smith was there, and he collaborated with Brian from Quaff. Brian
Trout.
Thank you, Brian Trout. Collaborated with him from Quaff. And JP brought out the Pico Brew system and collaborated, although his collaborator was not on site, his collaborator was brewing the same beer in San Diego at the same time.
So we collaborated pre-event. He gave a recipe. I added some stuff. He changed some stuff, and we, it was very much a collaborative effort.
Did he brew on the Pico Brew as well?
No, he did not. He brewed the hard way, apparently. Yeah.
So this will be interesting because you had the same recipe, one done on the Pico Brew and one done on what? Like a regular all-grain system?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Michael Fry, I believe, was your partner. Yeah.
God, he's smart.
Wow. He's
like he reads emails and shit.
He didn't just take the bar, he passed it.
Oh, man.
Are you feeling extra bad now about throwing a shirt in the corner?
No.
All right.
No.
Just the same bad.
Right. Yeah. Same level of bad.
Well, that's a beer I'm looking to try because it's the same recipe, but just on two completely different styles of brewing.
Yeah.
Are you going to rack the beer this time? Or are you just going to dump it into the keg?
Are
you a douche?
You want me to play my?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You want Scott to say the thing I say?
I do
with your voice. You should.
Didn't we fire Beardy?
Whatever.
All right, so we all brewed together.
Yes, we
I
did.
don't want to talk about how the Pico Brew went.
Okay.
But I want to talk about myself first. So,
Of course.
I felt, Mike, that our brown ale went flawless. Like, we had a stellar brew day, right?
Pretty stellar, yeah.
Do you remember the World Flock?
No.
Shit.
Mike did.
Mike remembered it. Yeah. Wow. So early on in the day, I was like, so here's the things that you're dealing with, Mike.
I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
But I'm a keynote speaker.
He was.
How that works out, I have no idea.
How that happens, I don't
It's
ask
beyond
Blue
me.
Bone.
I don't ask.
No, Justin was perfect about it. He goes, Mike, here's your 4 jobs. Do these 4 jobs.
Brew the
and
beer.
we're good.
And I think we might be
we
okay.
got all 4, yeah.
And then Mike did all 4 jobs.
He's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy. So Mike remembers.
Very obedient, too, which helps.
See, Tasty, I love that you remember this about me. This is what I said to Mike. I was like, when I gave him that one job, one of the 4, the Werflock, I was like, look, the truth is, no matter what I do, I never remember this fucking Werflock. And I know it sounds like a small task, but please remind me to do the Werflock.
I always do a 10-minute edition. Like it'll be like one nugget of hops or something.
Yeah.
So I remember the Werflock.
Oh, I see. That's like your
Always have a
string
10-minute
around the
edition.
finger. It's
yeah,
the same.
Even if the 30 is the last one.
Right. So we got the Werflock. In
Yeah.
fact, I think you threw it in with gusto. So,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Slam dunked that
So
shit.
that helped. We
Behind the back.
So we did this Nutter's Nut Brown Ale.
Mm-hmm.
We were shooting for an OG of 1058 tasty.
Big one.
We nailed it. Mike, I don't know if you
Nailed
knew
it.
that, but we nailed that. The first thing I always screw up is our strike temperature. I'm an idiot.
Isn't that the first thing to screw up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. No, actually, the first thing to screw up is the gathering of the ingredients. Because Mike sent us this great recipe. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But then I have to go and
I only bought Crystal Malt. Whoops.
I went measured it, but I did that right too. And then we nailed our strike temperature. Mike wanted to be at 154. I was all about it because I don't know the difference, and we got to 154
Right there.
So that was really nice. And so you remember we talked about our recipe a little bit last week.
Yeah, we had a
Tasty?
few possible modifications.
So of the possible modifications, one of them was to include brown malt.
Yeah.
Instead of, did you say instead of some crystal?
Yeah, so
or-
some base.
No. Switch
And-
out
it said some
pound of
two-row.
yeah.
We didn't take that advice.
Right.
We decided against the brown malt to stick with our full 2-row
Cool.
and then the couple of crystals. The advice we did take, the second bit, was to get rid of the black patent and instead use a little more pale chocolate. And
okay, sure.
Nice.
that we did do. So we ditched the black patent, added a pound of
No one likes black patent, dude.
pale chocolate.
Stop
Yeah, well,
it.
we didn't know, but now we know. So we were just going to sprinkle the black patent on top anyway, like for color or something.
Yeah.
But then everyone said don't do that, so we didn't. But that's the advice we took. Everything else we kept the same with the recipe we read last week, which was, you know it off your head?
About
Doesn't
another
matter.
5-gallon.
What was the hopping? Is this in English? What do you make an English
East Kent, Golding, and
then
Willamette.
And then yeast is
Good combo.
Cal. So it's actually sort of a hybrid between like an English and an American brown.
right.
Not hoppy like a Janet's brown. I think we hopped at about 35 IBUs.
A little bit under that.
1058. Okay.
Isn't that a society thing to do? Isn't that what your English IPA is?
No comment.
All right.
Oh, he's leaving society out of it. This is what. This is a Mike and Justin.
This
thing
could be a
to do.
ripoff,
Right.
Beardy.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Call back to the society show.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah.
I like 001, real clean.
Yeah.
Like what the East does as opposed to 002. So that's
Yeah.
what we went with.
Nice.
So we knocked out at Heretic, put it into a couple of clean and sanitized corny kegs, brought it back to my More Beer conical filter, transferred it in a closed and clean transfer, just so you know, Mike. Threw 4 vials of Cal Ale in there because White Labs was a wonderful sponsor of the event and donated all the yeast that we wanted. So I didn't even bother to do a starter. I just asked for a crap load of vials.
There you go.
And threw them all in.
Is there just enough vials equals a starter?
Yeah.
Or is there no real substitute for a starter? There is.
That is a topic that will be debated forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's a viability
That's a long
issue.
discussion there.
I think Neva would say that you're not really increasing the number of cells; you're just making them active. In a starter.
Yeah, at a certain
When you
level.
do a starter,
in a typical starter level.
Yeah. Well, I threw in the 4 vials. We were fermenting within 24 hours.
Beautiful.
And it was fermenting even more vigorously this morning when I went and checked it out. All at about 66 degrees.
Sounds great.
It also tasted really good. The wort was pretty nice.
So I heard.
So I'm excited. We'll be serving this beer at NHC, and so far so good. There are still several things I could screw up, Mike.
I know this.
But so far so good.
Are you going to dry hop it?
Well,
No.
No.
It is what it is. Plus, it's not going to be served till June, right? So I think it's a nice style to just kind of lager for a little while.
Exactly. I'm interested to, taste it, 2 weeks out from now when it's done. But then, when we serve it in June, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 kegs of it. One will definitely go to NHC. Do I have to commit to both going to NHC, Mike? What do you think?
Come up here and have a party.
How about BNA 10?
There we go. I like that idea.
And Mike has time to rebrew it down in San Diego, so in case you need a backup keg.
There you go.
Well, maybe I'll bring it if I do a San Diego brew day, which I'd like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll bring the 1 keg down for that, or at least some
sounds
bottles
great.
or something. Try that.
Fill up a growler or something.
All right. So now JP brewed on the Pico Brew.
I did.
System. What did you brew?
I brewed an ESB that Michael and I put together. It was mainly Michael, and then we traded some crystal malt out and went with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he did it on his own all grain system. And how did your brew day go?
Flawlessly. I was the first one to start drinking beer.
Yeah.
And then I could drink it all day because I didn't have anything to
Because
screw
you
up.
pressed a freaking button.
Yeah.
Brewed on the Pico Brew.
This really is my kind of brewing.
But I had to clean first. I had to do the recipe properly. I had to add all the ingredients properly. I had to measure out the water properly. Then I pushed the button.
You're making it sound more complicated, I think, than it is.
It's like when you make coffee in the morning, like someone's like, oh, thanks for making coffee. And you're like,
First, I got the filter.
I didn't just make coffee.
And then I filled up the pot. And then I carefully measured out.
If you screw up any step in there, you don't make good coffee.
Well, that's true when you're doing a regular conventional brew, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, by the way, like getting ready for work and then getting to work, if you screw up any step in between.
First, I had to brush my teeth.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I had to put on my boxers.
And then I had to look both ways before crossing the street.
Right. I think as a race of humans, we often overlook the minutia of the day that gets us from one place to the next.
And Pico Brew brings us back to that.
I think it does.
I'm with
but
you.
it was rad because I was able to enjoy my brew day and still hit all my numbers. The beer tastes great. It was fermenting amazingly quickly.
Nice.
And I was able to hang out and drink beer and talk to everybody while you guys were sweating and doing your thing. And you ended up with beer. I ended up with beer, but I had a much easier time of it.
Yeah. And by the way, aside from my system, because I'm very handsome, the only brew system there that attracted more attention than mine was the Pico Brew. Everyone was really fascinated.
I got a lot of bend down lows and squinting.
What is happening here?
Well, because first you see it and you go, well, you're not brewing, and then people come back 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, and they go, well, so you can see inside. Yeah, you can see the water level rise in the mash. Well, and then 20 minutes later, you catch them. They're squinting at the screen. They're like, oh,
what's happening now?
It's boiling.
Yeah,
they got their doubts.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah, that's cool. And then by the end of it, I got to get me one of these. There was a guy there, I forget his name. He was like, this is amazing.
So what I did in regards to what you're talking about, my assumption was that it was a big closed box and you don't see anything.
Yes.
But you see the mash happening. Like where the mash takes place, it's a big clear bin. Like that's kind of the center window.
That's it, yeah. All your ingredients fit in that bin.
Yeah.
So you pull the whole cube out, and your grain goes in the first 3/4 of it, and then there's little slots with cages for your hop additions.
I see.
And so it's all just self-contained right in there. So when you're cleaning, you pull out this bin, and then you dump everything out, and then you put it back. There's no kettles to lift or whatever like that.
No, we lifted a lot of things.
You did. You guys were hauling ass. I think I was one of the last ones to be done and the first ones to bail out. I was like, I'm done.
You're like, everything's clean.
I got to split. I got to go. I got shit to do.
So at the end, it dumps it all into a corner.
Here's the cool part about how it works, right?
Yeah.
It's got this recirc return or hot liquor if you're sparging that positions itself over the 60-minute hops and recircs over that. For 60 minutes, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then was it cascades down?
It cascades down, so you're still getting full wort contact with your 60 minutes as you're doing your
like
whatever minutes. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
They put some thought into that thing.
Yeah. Engineered. Yeah, it's well engineered.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it all just goes into a corny at the end, which you took home.
Which, I put in, so I drained it from the corny into my carboy, pitched my yeast, and then rinsed everything out, and then went home.
Okay.
And then the next day, I brewed another batch of the same beer.
Wow.
I just set it up on my counter, put everything in, clicked the button, and then was able to do chores. I did my taxes, and I did all the shit around the house, and then I come back and I had 2.5 more gallons of beer, and I just racked it into the same carboy.
Wow.
So I have 5 gallons of beer. I didn't even break a sweat.
I feel like...
That's a good argument. I always make a case like, well, it's only 2.5 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so what?
But it was effortless.
You pressed that fucking button, you know?
Yeah, and when I got the recipe, I already split it in 2.5 batches. So I had 2 batches all ready to go. They were already separated. Everything was already measured out for me. I just had to literally pull the thing out, put everything in, turn it on, sync my recipe, and hit go. And then I, headed back to the couch and did my taxes.
I feel like this is how Kevin works at Tioga-Sequoia. Except it's different. Like, he doesn't push a button. He has all these brewers. He walks in. He gives them the ingredients and recipe. He smacks someone on the back of the head.
And then they push the button for him.
Yeah, they brew the beer.
I mean, it's the best of both worlds. You get to do your recipe. You get to be creative.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about the other stuff that can trip you up along the way. If you're dumb like me and little small stuff, trips you up, like flies buzzing around, you're like, I got to catch the thing. Next thing you know, it's a boil over or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like recipe formulation. I like sampling.
Yeah.
I don't like brewing.
You don't like activity.
I don't like activity at all. I like to be very sedimentary. My future is Wall-E, that movie. Just we're all floating around on this little bike drinking Slurpees and brewing beer.
Excellent.
Let me just add, too, that the 2.5 gallons part, maybe not for our audience in this room, but for people like my dad who got his Pico Brew a couple weeks ago, that 2.5 gallons, that's a selling point. Because he can't go through 5 gallons fast enough before...
Really?
Whatever... Yeah, whatever.
How long does it take?
I mean...
This is going to change my opinion.
I don't know, 48 hours, and he wants to go through it in 24,
Right.
No, he just doesn't drink, he doesn't have friends over every night, and he's just not going through that much beer, and he wants a variety of styles, and he wants to go through it before it's not fresh anymore, so that's like a selling point for him.
No, I think you're totally right. In fact, someone was mentioning that to me about the 2.5 gallon thing, and I had to wrap my head around the quantity of beer that I drink at that moment, because the person was saying 2.5 gallons is plenty of beer. I get to taste, I get to have it for I don't even want to mention the period of time that they said, because my jaw dropped and I was like, oh Jesus, I'm going to die in a week.
Especially for you drink a lot of commercial beer. You don't drink a lot of craft beer. Or not homebrew.
Oh, homebrew.
Yes.
I meant. Okay.
Because your problem is your numbers. You always screw that up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And you don't have a Mike or a Chad with you to help you out.
Correct.
Like in the Brewcaster Challenge.
Whoa.
Right.
Still holding on to that one.
Bring it up.
You won, okay, bro?
Well, look, I just want to make it clear to everybody.
All right, you took home the medal.
But so if you want to satiate that kind of urge to homebrew, but you're still drinking a lot of craft beer because you're not, I don't want to say you're not very good, but you're just not doing it a lot.
Right.
It's perfect, and especially for people who want to try different styles. You want to brew a lot. If you want to win a medal at NHC, or you want to do whatever, you brew a lot of batches at the same time. And
can I have yours?
I'm not even entering because I'm above it. I'm over that.
Can I have your Pico Brew? I mean.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I'm in.
I'm kidding. You can't.
All right. Well, it was a great day. I'm glad you brought out the Pico Brew.
Me too. It was fun.
We had fun collaborating. I hope we get to do it in San Diego. Tasty, I know you're thinking about trying to get down there.
Yeah, maybe not on the 25th, but maybe a week or two after that.
Okay.
And not enough time to make a beer for NHC.
All right. Well, I hope so, and we'll keep you up to date, NHC goers, because we're gonna pour all this beer that was brewed down there. And there were other brewers that day as well, so we're going to have
there were.
All right.
Yeah, I'd just say thanks to Heretic for hosting as well.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
Jamil is a very gracious host, and I think really had fun having us there, so that was very cool. All right, so we're going to play the new game. It's taking the brew world by storm. It's never been played before. And it's called, Is Justin Really an Idiot? So why don't we meet our contestants here first? I don't even know how this game is going to work. Are we just going to let them Is anybody playing for them? Are we playing with them? What have we done to make this game work, Scott? I'm sure you've thought out every detail.
Yeah. On the plane on the way back from Vegas, that was all that I was thinking about. And I don't know. Why don't we let each caller team up with a brewcaster?
All right. I need some paper from somebody because I have guests to remember here. But let's go to our first caller. It's going to be Thud Monkey. I believe Thud Monkey has been playing games with us recently. Thud Monkey, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going, Justin?
It's going well.
Hey, Tioga-Sequoia guys, you're going to need headsets. Otherwise, you can't hear the callers.
So, Thud Monkey, are you ready to play Is Justin an Idiot?
Yeah.
Would you like to answer now, or do you just want to wait till the game is over?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's go to...
My response is yes.
All right, that's all out of you. Let's go to Cedar. Cedar's on the line. Cedar, what's happening?
Hey, Cedar.
Hello.
Cedar's already referring to himself in the third person.
Hey,
Cedar says hi.
I picked Nate to represent me.
All right.
Perfect.
No, Nate's not here.
He's not going to be much help tonight.
But listen, you're off to a good start, Cedar.
JP then.
All right.
JP is always
good second choice.
Okay. All right.
All right, and then who else do we have? Scott from Pennsylvania. Scott, what's happening, buddy?
Not much. How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Turn your radios down, guys, please.
Yeah, everybody's got one.
And then finally, we've got West Vag. I don't make these things up.
It's Johnny from West Virginia.
Oh, there. I forgot the first part.
It's West Vag.
Oh, West Vag.
How am I supposed to know that Vag is Virginia, Suze?
West.
Since when is VAG
right now, dude.
Virginia?
Can I change my decision to Susie? Don't you, Susie?
Hey, you're blowing the pretense here on the Justin's an Idiot show.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Don't prove it too soon.
I did Tasty.
Who was the third
Read
caller?
this.
It says Vag.
It says Vag.
Yeah,
it
that's
says
West Vag.
West VAG.
Well, she's totally fucking with you.
You know what? I blame that guy Sal, the Dominator, your old cornholing partner. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Wait, what?
Cornholing partner, Vag.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
You're gonna pay more attention to this show.
Oh, that's you saying Johnny is?
No, I said I started calling Virginia Vag just because of that dude.
Susie, sit back down.
What?
Just whatever you. Just keep going back to doing what you were doing.
Who's on line 3? I didn't even catch that. Are you keeping score? Because I was keeping score.
Scott's on line 3.
No one scored yet.
You're keeping score. I just need to know their names in front of me. Susie confuses me because
that rhymes.
I don't know if she's making sense or not. You see what I mean? Like when other people don't make sense, I go, they're not making sense.
Right.
Susie does. She doesn't make sense in a convincing way.
Yeah. And you start questioning yourself.
Yes,
Like,
and I started thinking like, did I not read West? Does everybody call it West Vag?
Probably right.
I mean, what about cornhole that made West Vag make sense to her?
All right.
I don't know.
So
who's Scott playing with?
Well, I don't think anybody's playing with anybody, actually.
Okay, they were just
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to let them do it, and then they can reach out. We're all going to. You guys are all going to give your opinion, and they can take it or leave it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you ask us.
Yeah, let's do
Some
that.
of us there.
All right.
Why ask me?
I
If
wanted
you
to-
have your own structure in mind. Just, you
You
do
did
your thing. man.
because you didn't structure this out. You have no idea how this game was going to go.
No, but I came up with something.
Right, yeah.
On the fly?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
You asked, he answered. Right. Overruled.
Overruled. All right.
He couldn't say it then, but he's saying it right
All
now.
right, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well, I've had 5 minutes. All right, so the game is, does Justin know anything at all? That's what it's been called this whole time, right? And what we've done is come up with brewing questions. Some of them simple, some of them not so simple. Scott's going to ask the question, and then at that time is when you decide, do I know the answer to the question?
What do you know?
And we'll go down the line and around the room and let everybody play a little bit. And then we'll play my answer that I recorded earlier before the show. So let's hear our first question, Moscow.
How do you know the hot break has occurred during the boil?
How do you know the hot break has occurred during the boil? Thud Monkey, do I know the answer or not?
No, you don't know the answer.
Do all the callers, you guys all know? All four of you?
Yeah, Thud Monkey, do you without giving the answer, do you know the answer, Thud Monkey?
No.
Okay. Wow. Cedar, what do you think?
I don't think Justin knows.
Do you know?
I think I know, but I think I don't know.
All right.
Welcome to my brain.
Although he was a little more convincing.
Yeah, that was a Susie answer.
All right, Scott, what do you think? Do I know the answer or not?
Do I have to guess before I hear everybody's opinion?
Yeah, but only because I made the first. For the first round, I'm going to make you all guess, and then I'm still going to ask everyone.
We're going to check your medal.
So go ahead, Scott.
All right, well, I'll go with yup.
All right,
You do know.
Scott thinks I know. Man with a little bit of faith, finally. Jesus.
Yeah, a vote of confidence there.
Thanks, buddy. Johnny, what do you think?
Oh, you absolutely know this.
Johnny thinks I know it. Johnny's got a lot of faith.
Confident man.
JP, do I know the answer to this question?
I think you know the answer, but I think you're going to get the answer wrong.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
actually.
that's what I said.
Like you know what it is, but you won't be able to answer it in the proper fashion.
Okay.
Like you would know it if you saw it, but you'd call it like a chest freezer or some shit like that. I don't know.
Something completely wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Like when I do a 2-hour interview and then at the end I say a different brewery name.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
I mean, that would never happen, but
that would never happen.
I'd like to thank Sierra Nevada for joining us today.
Right. All right. Good answer. Sardina, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
You think I know it?
Yeah.
Now, Mike brewed with me this past weekend, so
he did.
You know, Tasty. Do I know it?
Oh yeah, you'll know it.
Can I answer it?
You'll answer in about 7 words. The answer is about 7 words. It'll take you about 35 or 40.
That also,
we will say
that's also pretty
he
accurate.
knows.
And Beardy.
The question is, because I watched you struggle with it on Saturday. The question is,
you watched me struggle with Hot Break?
yeah.
Okay.
The question is whether or not you knew that you were struggling with Hot Break. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I did struggle with it.
Yeah.
We were struggling with Hot Break?
We actually were struggling. I do believe we were struggling with Hot Break.
Yeah.
That wasn't one of your 4 things to worry about.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't one of my 4.
But I'm just not sure if you knew that you were struggling with Hot Break. So that's why.
Yeah.
I'll say yes.
This mash smells funny.
Oh, so you say I know it.
I'll say that you did connect 2 and 2.
Okay. I need to establish something before we give my answer. There needs to be a consensus on whether or not I got it right.
I was going to ask Kevin Cox to tell us what that answer is. How do you know the hot break has occurred during the boil?
However, even if we get that, there still needs to be a consensus on whether or not I got it right. Because, like JP said, actually, and Tasty are both saying, I'm going to say things.
It's going to be
The thing is, I say
And
things.
do they equal me knowing the answer?
Yeah.
So how about Tasty, JP, and Beardy, so that it's an odd number? They get to vote whether or not I got it right
We'll
or
be
not.
the judges.
And that way,
Okay.
it should always be, majority will rule.
Got it.
Because otherwise we're going to end up arguing if I got it right or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
With them being the judges, can we still have Kevin tell us
Absolutely.
what it is
Yeah,
first?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin, grab a mic. Tell
We'll
us what the
judge him,
answer is.
Kevin, so what was the question exactly?
How do you know the hot break has occurred during the boil?
Well, I honestly haven't talked about this to anybody in a very long time, but the way that I would do it is I would pull some of the sample out of the kettle into a Pyrex and put it into a refrigerator, and if it separates clear, then you've done the hot break.
Shit. All right. Let's see what I said.
I think it's because a bunch of chunks start floating in the boil, and it usually causes my boilovers.
All right, what did the judges say there?
So, judges, did I accurately describe hot break and how you know when the hot break happens?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's as close as he's going to get.
I was looking for more of like exactly what are those chunks is what I was hoping to hear from him. But
proteins.
Well, but the question is, how do you know when it's happened? Not what is it?
Right.
And when the chunks float and boilovers happen.
Right. But I was hoping for when you see the protein coagulating in the wort. That's what I was. That was my ideal question. But yes, I will give you that.
Same thing.
Tasty?
Chunks, proteins.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, if you took that knowledge and went brewing, you'd be fine. You know enough about it to know when it's happened. Yes.
I got
he knew it.
right.
Yeah. All right. Who said? Which caller said he knew it? Someone guessed.
Scotty and West Vag.
Two guys.
Yeah, Scotty and Johnny Vag both said I know it. So that'll be a point for those boys. All right, let's hear the next one.
What's the proper term for green apple type off flavors?
All right, the proper term for green apple off flavors. We'll start with Johnny this time. What do you think? Do I know it?
I think you know it, but you're going to say the wrong one. Like you know the name of the chemical, but you're going to say you're going to say diacetyl, but it's not diacetyl. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny knows me.
So that's a no?
That's a no.
All right, Scott, what do you think?
Sorry, buddy. I'm going to say no, too.
Dicks. Cedar, what do you think, buddy?
I think you know acetaldehyde.
All right, Cedar says yes. And Thud Monkey.
I think you know acetaldehyde. I agree with Cedar.
Wow. So that's 2 for idiot, 2 for not an idiot.
So Thud and Cedar think they know the answer also, and think that I know the answer with them. Tasty, what do you think?
Oh, well, I'm a judge, so I'm impartial, of course. But
do I know the answer? I don't care what the answer is yet.
I think you do.
All right. Yeah. Sardina, what do you think?
Yeah, you got it.
Jip?
But I'm only 60-40 on that, by the way.
No.
Right. It's not like, oh, fuck yeah.
I don't think you do. I think it's too long of a word for you to have mastered the what it is.
By the way, somebody keep a Brewcaster score. I want to know. So, JP, what did you say on the last one?
I said you don't know.
You said no, right?
Right.
So no point there.
Nobody grabbed a pen when you said someone keep a Brewcaster score.
Right.
Last time I tried to keep score, I got
Mike
yelled
said
at.
yes.
Right.
Tasty?
60-40, yes.
On the last one, what did you say?
No. I said you know both. Yeah, so far. I said you'll know both of those. Yes.
Beardy also said yes.
I said on the last one you knew it.
You're trailing, JP.
Yeah, that's what I do.
He usually wins.
All right, where were we on this
Usually
one?
comes from behind.
Right, Beardy, do I know this one?
I don't think so. I think you're going to be like Jolly Rancher.
So Beardy says no. What did you say?
You'll
Tasty?
know.
Tasty says I'll know it. Sardina says I'll know it. Jip says
you won't know it.
All right.
Going out there.
Let's find out if I know it.
I believe that is acetaldehyde.
I knew it. Boom.
Is that the correct pronunciation, though?
I think
there's some extra letters in there.
Actually, I think it's... I don't know if it's correct, but it's more correct than acetaldehyde.
Well, it's also more correct than Jolly Rancher.
So
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Kevin, do you know how to properly say acetaldehyde? You don't either. It's a weird. That one's tough.
He hasn't had that flavor in his beer for a long time.
Yeah,
so
that's
he doesn't
right.
know.
He gave up that flavor. Yeah.
When you read that shit,
You know it. Right. So I knew that shit.
You did.
Yeah.
Look at you.
That's 2 in a row, and that means that we have a tie game among our contestants because Thud and Cedar both gave me the win. And let's see. JP, you just said yes?
I said you don't know it.
So that's no point.
Yeah.
Tasty said yes, that's a point. Mike said yes, that's a point. And Beardy said no. All right.
Acetaldehyde.
Yeah, that's not right.
It sounds like acetaldehyde.
Acetaldehyde.
Like acetaldehyde.
Right. Yeah, I was being deliberate.
There's an L in there.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Next question, please.
What does SRM stand for?
Well, this one seems easy enough. Thud Monkey, what do you think? Do I know what SRM stands for?
Yes, you do.
Cedar?
Senior radical math.
Correct.
That's a no, I think.
Do I know it or not, Cedar?
No.
Cedar now thinks the game is, do they know it?
Right.
Does he know it?
It's,
well, that's not a bad rule of thumb.
Justin doesn't know it.
All right. Cedar says no. Thud says yes. Scott, what do you think?
Nope.
And Johnny?
No.
No.
There's only one yes out of these guys. All right, JP, what do you think?
No.
You say no. Okay. Sardina?
I gotta say no on this one.
Boy. Tasty?
I'm piling on here, no.
And Beardy?
Yeah, it's unanimous.
It's a unanimous no. So I've got one yes in my corner.
Oh, really?
From Thud Monkey.
From Thud, yeah.
Thud Monkey
I thought it was unanimous.
Can I please change my answer?
Yeah, Thud, would you like to change your answer?
Well, I don't think you know this.
So Thud's gone back. Now you've gone to no.
You know SRM. You know SRM means lightness and darkness of a beer, but you don't know the actual acronym.
Right.
Yeah.
Some random measurement.
Some sort of tire or something.
So Thud, you've gone to no.
Yes.
Well, once again, I have to ask who does know it. You four on the phone. Do you guys know?
No.
No.
0 for 4. Yes!
This is what makes
Amazing.
this a good game.
Yeah.
It still doesn't excuse me from knowing it. It's sort of my job.
No, that's a tough question, I
I
think.
mean, SRM. You should know that SRM means the lightness and darkness. And it doesn't matter about
fucking blind. I don't need SRM.
So
you should know MPH means like how quick is your car going. Like you don't have to know what it actually like stands for. You know.
Well, so now depending on whatever answer I give, the judges may have to interpret the question. Did the question ask for the meaning of the acronym or
what's this?
Or
No,
does
no,
he
no.
know what SRM
It was
means?
very clear. Clear
right?
question.
What does SRM stand for?
There's no ifs, ands, or buts there.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's find out if I knew.
What it means, that would have been something.
Shit. I don't know what it stands for, but I know that it is the measurement of the color of the beer.
Yeah, you guys know Justin very well. He'll know what it means, but not what it stands for.
I don't know. I would have said the same thing, and that's all. That's the best I'd have.
Does anybody in the room know what SRM
No,
stands
I had to
for?
Google that shit.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Beardy, what does it stand for?
Standard reference method.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, well, Beardy went to brewing school.
No, I didn't.
Shit.
So that's a point for everybody on the planet, I think, right? Is what just happened?
Pretty much.
You don't shut me out, jerks. All right, what's the next question?
Name 2 noble hops.
Two's not 2.
I'm already stumped on whether or not I answered this right. To be honest with you.
I don't remember this
Can I get partial credit for one?
Newbie end game. Yeah. Does Justin know if he answered the question from earlier correctly?
Did Justin play the game?
And I'm thinking back about my answer, and I'm wondering if I got it. I think I maybe said one wrong. We'll find out. All right, Johnny, what do you think? Do I know? Can I name 2 noble hops?
Dude, you used to screw at German. You should be able to name 2 noble hops. Come on, man.
You know, technically, I was with her for a long time, but you guys have no idea whether or not I was screwing her.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's true, but we would all be highly disappointed if you hadn't.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy. All right, so you're giving me a yes, Johnny?
Yes.
All right. Scott.
Countless hours of Brewing Radio have to have paid off. You know this one.
All right. You guys all assume I'm paying attention during the program. Cedar, what do you think?
Saws and...
Can I hang up on Cedar? Can I just say that Cedar's an asshole?
Yeah, you can say that for sure.
Sorry, Cedar, I hung up on you there for a second. Cedar, does Justin know the answer to this question, yes or no?
Oh, fuck.
Holler Tower.
All right, Cedar says yes. And Thud Monkey?
Yes, and I will go as far as to say if you gave Justin 6 hop varieties, he could probably get all 4.
What?
I don't know if that was a compliment or not.
Yeah.
Listen, I am very used to backhanded compliments. I'll take every one.
Yeah, that was one.
That was a compliment. I don't understand.
JP, do I know the answer?
No, I don't think you do.
Mike?
I'll say yeah. Yeah.
Tasty?
No, you'll know, yeah, sure.
Beardy?
You'll know.
All right, let's hear.
Well, there are 4, right? Noble hops. It's Hallertau, Tettnang, Spalt, and Saws. We're not missing one, are we?
God, I hope you are.
Okay. Well, here's what Justin had to say.
Hallertau and Perle.
Oh, 1 for 2.
I thought Perle was a 5th. Is that not a noble hop?
There's 4 traditional noble hops.
Can we get a consensus on whether or not Perle is a noble hop?
I don't have enough experience.
Here, why don't I...
Kevin Cox is shaking his head.
That's a simple wiki away.
I'll get on the Bing machine.
Let's Google that shit real quick here. Oh, while you're waiting.
And the reason I'm thinking that it's a noble hop is because I remember Dan Gordon using it, and he's like a Nazi about noble hops.
It is an old German hop.
But
I
maybe
don't know.
not one of the noble varieties.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's Saws.
So, who is that?
Saws is one.
How did I not say that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I was on the spot. There was a microphone in my face. I was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right, they're
You're
Googling.
relevant.
It says characteristic of noble hops, but look, the reference material that I was reading when I came up with the question, there are 4 noble hops. Perle was not one of those four noble.
Yeah,
horses.
I don't think it's a noble.
I think
I'm
what-
not
I think
arguing,
it's a-
I'm just
no,
curious.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I think it's a crossbreed of or derivative of, but it's not one of the traditional ones.
So judges say no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, with that, I have to say no.
All right, so that means all of our contestants did not get a point on that one. I let you guys down. It means that JP is the only one who got a point in the room on that one. It also means I should start banging a German again as soon as possible. I think. I feel like that's what it means.
Did you ask him to name some English hops? He might do better at that.
Maybe now I'll do better at that. All right, how much more torture do I have to take? What's our next question?
What is another term for continuous sparging?
All right. Thud Monkey, what do you think?
Yes, you do. You do know.
Thud says yes. Cedar?
Batch sparging.
Wow.
What a douche.
Can I just also now say I could not hate Cedar more?
You can say that, yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I meant to say fly sparging. Fuck you.
Well, no, he corrected himself. It's all right.
Yeah.
Cedar, would you like to answer the question?
Yeah. Fly sparging.
He just doesn't know what the game is.
There's another question.
I think he answered the question. He's answering Scott's question.
He doesn't answer the right question.
We have to do it every time. Cedar, does Justin know the answer to the question?
Yes.
He's making you work for this game.
Wow. Scott.
I'll go with the Dumbos and say yes.
Okay. And Johnny.
I think I'm going to go with no.
All right, Johnny trying to get out ahead of the pack there with a no. JP.
No.
You've said no every time,
Yeah,
right?
you've been a real schmuck to me
I
all
mean, that's
night.
like guessing C. Eventually you're going to get it, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. What's your strategy again? How many points do you have?
The same as you, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike.
I'll go yeah.
See, Mike's on my side, although he's losing. No, he's doing. Actually, he's in the lead, so he's on my side and doing well. Tasty.
You'll know, sure.
And Beardy.
I think you'll pull it out. Yep.
All right, I will pull it out. And will I know the answer to the question?
Yeah, that'll help. It'll remind you.
Fly sparging.
Oh, nailed it. Nailed that one. Psh, do I know brewing?
I thought for sure you wouldn't know it.
Let's see. Mike just got another point. Tasty got another point. Beardy got another point. JP's a douchebag. All right, next question.
What's the score?
Let's see.
For callers, we have everyone has 2 points. No, everyone has 3 points except for West Vag, who has 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to leave that one to you then from now
All
on. I have 4 points for Mike Sardina, 4 points for Tasty McDole, 2 points for JP, 3 points for Beardy.
All right.
That's what I have for the in studio. What are we going for? How about like last question right now? What do you think?
Well, if there's a bunch of callers at 3, we can do a couple more. See if someone can pull ahead for the win.
Well, how about though if somebody wins right now, we call it a win.
All right.
There we go.
How about not that?
Playing
something else.
It's a little embarrassing
Sudden
game
death.
for you.
Actually, I'm really liking the game. I just don't want it to drag on so far
Okay.
that it's not fun anymore.
Got it.
Yeah. What's the next question?
What does attenuation mean?
Oh, Jesus. There's no way I know this.
I don't even know right now.
I don't remember my answer, but there's no goddamn way I got it right. Come on, guys. Don't be ridiculous.
No, you don't.
Just want to welcome
It'll take you 100 words.
I think this is where judge's discretion is going to come in.
We're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, we're going to have to decide if he knows or not.
all right, let's go with Johnny. What do you think? Do I know what attenuation is?
I think you know what it is, but I don't know if you're going to know how to put it into words.
I agree with you.
So, yes or no?
Yes. So
Yes?
I think that would be a no.
No.
Well, okay.
Scott.
I'm going to go with yep, because you like alcohol in your beer, and you know what it is. Yep.
Okay. I like his philosophy that I would zero in on the things that my body needs.
It's not a bad strategy.
Yeah,
really.
right.
That my brain will fall in line. Cedar, does Justin know the answer to this question?
Shit, I have to go with the last guy. You know how to put it into words because you know that's what you like.
All right, fair enough. Cedar says yes. And Thud Monkey, what do you think?
Yes, you know that yeast eats sugar.
You guys are confident. JP.
I'm just going to stick with no.
Of course you are.
Because either way, I'm going to lose in the inner office pool.
Mike Sardina.
Well, as the person responsible for the fermentation of our homebrew batch, I sure as hell hope so. So yes.
Still has a lot of faith. Tasty?
Oh yeah, you'll know this.
Kevin, you've just met me tonight. Is there any chance in hell that I know what attenuation is?
Oh,
Kevin says yes.
Wow.
I'm liking the confidence. Beardy.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are all dumb. So even before it gets answered, I do still think I know what it is.
Oh, no.
But I'm not sure I was able to explain it.
The judge's decision is final.
But anyhow, let's
hear this rambling.
Let's see what we got.
Attenuation is how much sugars in solution are fermented out. So basically, your attenuation is how you get down to your final gravity.
Which is a really weird description.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Unanimous.
Because
JP?
What isn't it but on the yeast side, right? Isn't it like the percentage of sugars that the yeast can consume?
But I think that's what I said by during fermentation.
I wasn't listening. I don't know.
The degree of how much it did that.
You had one job.
No, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yes! I got attenuation right. This is definitely one I should know.
Do we have a winner?
We have a three-way tie right now.
Oh, no.
With who?
Thud, Cedar, and Scott. West Vag got it wrong.
Thud.
Again.
Boo, smelly vag.
All right.
3 in a row, West Vag.
West Vag, I'm going to let you go, brother. Thanks for playing, man.
All right, peace out.
Cheers, dude.
Peace in. That's what I always say.
Of you guys, only JP didn't get a point on that one, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so that means, let's see, Beardy, you're out.
Ha!
What?
How's it feel,
JP is
dummy?
out. It's now down to the
yeah.
two mics. You guys have a tie score. We'll see if we can
All right.
separate it here.
See if we can break it here.
With another question.
I
what do we
prefer to
got?
call them the two tasties, but I mean,
Yeah.
what do I
They
know?
also prefer to call themselves two tasties.
Right.
If you saw the acronym FWH on a recipe, what would that stand for?
Good question.
That is
Solid question.
Yeah.
These are good questions.
Yeah.
Thud Monkey, what do you think?
They could all be.
No, you do not know.
He's like, no, stop. Do not do this.
Right.
Do not know.
Don't even play the clip.
Cedar.
So wet. How?
Cedar, does Justin know the answer to this question?
Yes.
Wow. And Scott.
No.
All right. JP.
Oh,
you're out.
Oh, yeah, I'm out.
Mike.
I'll say no.
Oh, how did I kill you? Oh, there we go.
I'll say no.
You say no.
Oh yeah, you'll know.
Tasty thinks I know this
Mike
one?
let me in. He's setting it up. Yeah, you'll know this. You're smart. You know the F stands for something. Once you say that first word, it'll fly right out of your mouth.
Love the confidence.
Just for fun, JP, do you think I know this one?
No, I don't think you
Beardy?
do.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Do I know the answer to what is FWP on a recipe?
FWH.
FWH.
Fucking with hops.
I don't know.
No, you couldn't even mention a
Oh,
guess.
wow.
I have no clue. I still don't have a clue.
Good
Really?
game.
I had no clue.
What the hell does FWH stand for?
First word hopping.
Oh, yeah, that's one I should know. That's why it's a good game right there. I should definitely know that.
So that brings it. You can finally drop your friend Cedar because Thud Monkey and Scott are now tied for first.
I didn't even say goodbye to Cedar. I just dropped him.
All right, so this is the
felt good, didn't
tiebreaker
it?
question. So
Yeah.
whoever answers first, the other person's got to go with the other answer.
And who just won out of you two, Tasty?
Mike won.
Mike. See, thank you for the support, Mike. I appreciate
Don't
it.
ever do that. Don't ever bump fists.
You said you wouldn't know.
Right, yeah, I was going to say he
I
supported
said
you by
knew
doubting.
every time.
Oh, damn it.
I gave you the support.
Thank you, Tasty.
He's a doubter.
Right, yeah.
He is a doubter. Knuckles to you, Tasty. All right, then. We're down to Thud Monkey and Scott for what I hope is a final question.
Yeah, it is. And Michael just informed me that it's a Tioga-Sequoia T-shirt that the winner will receive.
Oh, I love it. Oh. Excellent. Okay.
Oh.
Next question, please.
What is the ideal pH range for your mash water?
I know.
Great.
Still struggling with the structure of the game.
Perfect.
Yeah. Definitely no.
Thud Monkey.
Yes, 5.3. You know it.
Thud Monkey, yes, and Scott saying no?
That's it.
That's not a range.
Okay. JP, for fun?
I'm going to say yes.
Whoa.
What? Wow. But now the competition's off.
Because it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't value his yes.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
You can push me around, I don't care.
Take that. Beardy?
I don't think you do.
Okay. What's the question again?
What is the ideal pH range for your mash water?
Tasty?
Yeah, you're not going to know because the water is like not the mash; it's the water.
Well, right, yeah. I
That's
feel like
why
the answer is not what you're asking for.
It's sort of
Scott.
a trick question. You're going to
Yeah.
answer what the mash should be, but the water is something else.
Well,
the pH of the water actually doesn't matter.
If he gets well, fine. But if the question is he going to guess somewhere in the range?
Well, but there's not a specific right answer.
They're saying the question is potentially phrased wrong.
Yeah.
Because why?
Because the pH of the mash water is one thing, and the pH of the mash is another thing.
They're
In other
two
words,
different.
the mash water is strike water. And did I give you an answer of what my strike water pH should be, or did I give you an answer based on what the strike water combined with the grains should be?
Probably that.
Which would be my mash pH.
That's what he meant.
Yeah. Well, I think you can play the answer, and the judges will decide.
Decide what the intent of the
If you
question
give the answer to the
Well, what is the
question.
ideal pH range for mash water?
I think that's what. Well,
that's asking what the ideal pH for your hot liquor is, which can totally depend on the beer you're making. Yeah, and so that range is huge.
Well, but I think the answer that we gave is for the mash. So that is, I did phrase it incorrectly, but shouldn't the mash for the mash pH, the mash water of the pH of the mash water has to be within a certain range for it to get down to a certain range.
Let me make it easy for you. I answered what the pH of the mash should be.
Fine.
That's right.
So just whatever the question was,
Then I think
you're guessing on whether or not I know what the
Then I
pH
think you'll know.
of the mash should be.
That's what
Yeah.
And what is that range?
Range, you said a number, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he guessed within the range, he gets it. But we'll just refer everybody else. What is the range?
Is it time to
5.2 to 5.
Everybody's voted. Oh.
Yeah. Everybody,
5.2 to
the callers
5.4.
are
5.2 to 5.4, something like
right around there.
That's one because it's going to remain tricky then.
Okay.
It is.
I think so.
All right. Well, this is for a T-shirt. It matters.
You know what else is tricky? Rock a rhyme that's right on time.
Did we already get there?
Yeah. Who guessed yes? Thud, you guessed yes?
Yeah, Thud said yes, and Scott said no.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
For
and see
the
what I
win.
said.
I'm not actually sure of the range, but I think 5.2 is kind of the perfect one.
That's a win for Thud Monkey. That's right there in the range.
He's in the range.
Thud Monkey. Winner.
I agree.
No doubt about it.
I'm not going to argue.
Well, but the question asked for a range. He gave a number.
That's why I said this is going to continue. I didn't give a range. I just said
The question
I don't
asks
know.
for a range.
And I said I don't know the range.
Right.
Huh.
So then no.
I'm agreeing with you.
All right, what did the judges say?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What do the judges say?
So the three judges are Tasty, JP, and Beardy. You can interpret the question. That's why I set this up, that there has to be an interpretation.
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna leave
question
it
was
to you.
a range, and you said I don't know the range. But you gave a proper answer that would fall within the range, but you didn't guess the range, so you didn't know it. You're right.
So you're giving a no vote.
Correct.
Tasty?
It did ask for the range, huh?
Yeah.
Well, then you didn't quite answer the question 100%.
Yeah. So you're saying no?
You gave a number that fell in the range.
Yeah, you
Both
gave.
of us. I think we should both get T-shirts.
No.
No. The decision
Someone
of the
has to
judges
lose.
is final.
I think they should both get T-shirts, but one should get sunglasses.
So Tasty says no.
Well,
Also,
that, and it was sort of like, first of all, we've already redefined the question.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you'd have answered like, say, 7.0 to 7.8, for 7.8 for 8.0 for a dark beer that you want to get too low in pH, 7 for most other beers. That'd have been a perfect answer.
Right.
But you're answering another question. So two together, and since you didn't give a range, I'm going to have to...
Maybe we should throw the
I'm going to have
question
to give
out.
you a failing grade, but you scored, but you didn't...
Should we throw the...
Score well enough.
I don't think so because maybe you guys got the answer wrong, but you asked me a specific question, even if you did it wrong.
That's the question we should throw out.
So not only did I get the question wrong, but then I didn't give a range on my interpretation of the... So if I'm voting, if I'm you guys, I didn't get it right.
Yeah.
Beardy, that's 2 anyways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So everyone's a no.
Yeah, the askers just didn't know what they were asking.
So that means Scott's our winner tonight. The first ever Is Justin Really an Idiot?
I tried, Thud Monkey. I did my best to back you up there.
Now, out of curiosity, by the way, Scott, just send an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com, and we'll make sure we get you a shirt from Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company, who is our guest tonight. Thanks, guys, for playing. I appreciate it very much. Now, here's a question I have. Do you have the ratio of what I got right to wrong? Because the game title almost deserves an answer. Is Justin really an idiot? And if I got more wrong than I got right, that's what I'm curious about.
Let's see. You missed SRM. You missed First Wort Hop. You missed Noble Hops. You got Attenuation.
You get 4 out of 5.
You got Hot Break.
Or 6.
You missed the last one.
You got acetaldehyde.
So I'm tied right now. I'm 3 and 3.
I have 4 and 3.
You missed the range, pH range.
That I have now is 4 and
You got fly sparging. So you are some
tied.
sort of you're half an idiot.
I'm the same I've always been.
I've always said that.
Skirting by. That's how
Now you know what to say when it's you. What kind of idiot are you? I'm a half an idiot.
Yeah, that's what they've always called me, Justin Skirting by Crosley.
Yep.
Just barely making it.
You did great.
Thank you, JP.
It's not the skirt you're wearing?
I would like to say that some of the questions nobody knew the answer to. I just want to put that out there.
I don't know if I could have done any better, actually.
It was very challenging.
I like this game. I think it's a good game.
If you have a good idea for a name for the game, write in. Let me know.
Do that. All right, Scott, good job, too. Send over an email once again to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. Scott, JP, great job putting that game together for us.
Yeah, very fun.
That was good. I think we should do it with Doc one day, too. Does the doctor know?
Because he knows like some weird off the wall shit, but there's some basic stuff that he'll just flub on.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a good time right there. All right, we're going to get out of here.
Twitter game.
I do think. What are our Twitter game results? Actually, before we get to the results,
I have a little update on something you might be interested in.
Yeah, what do you got?
The Blue Bonnet Brew Off. We have another person going with us.
Oh.
This just in. Chad's going.
Chad!
Whoa.
Chad Mosher?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's going.
Oh, that's going to be a good time.
He'll be there.
No, I like drinking with Chad.
Yeah.
That'll be a good time. I don't know if should I do feedback?
There's some good feedback in there.
All right. Let me buzz through feedback really quick.
Right.
And then get the Twitter game ready. Here we go. Matt writes in, hey, I've been listening to the session for a while now, and it seems that it's always a newer brewery that's getting interviewed. But let's see. Every newer brewer interview goes like this. I quit my job because it sucked, and I brew beer, and my life is awesome. It's the same shit every time. I just don't find it interesting anymore unless it's someone who has been in the business for a while. It's not even like most are doing anything unique, save for the Rare Barrel, who's fucking awesome. I find myself fast-forwarding through the interviews to hear news and feedback along with some pointless banter from Matt.
I would like to point out that Tony McGee from Lagunitas was on in January. Kelly Taylor from Kelso was on in February. Those guys are industry veterans, so you need, every show needs to be a vet? Is that it?
Also, none of those...
Kevin tonight.
None of those components were
tonight.
part of tonight. Matt, I actually have to wholeheartedly agree with this feedback. Normally, I just let you guys give your feedback and I could care less. But in this case, I wholeheartedly disagree. But thank you for writing. All right, so Tim writes in... Let's see. Since I know Justin likes to hear about when brew days become fail days, I thought I'd share mine. First off, I had to fight my mash because it kept sticking and wouldn't drain. The damn thing would somehow pull air under the false bottom, causing my pump to cavitate and be useless in general. Then I didn't get the correct boil volume, and halfway through topping off my boil with tap water, realized I just didn't use enough sparge water. Finally, I got all my numbers right, started to transfer into the conical, and was oxygenating inline when all of a sudden the line came off of the Therminator and shoots... By the way, I'm correcting his English as I go, so forgive me. Shoots off and starts spraying my precious wort all over my garage. And if that wasn't enough, I forgot to plug in the heater in my conical, so the temp dropped to 50 degrees overnight.
Sounds good.
At least my garage now smells like hot chocolate. I'll clean it later. Shut up, Beardy, from Tim.
Oh, that's nice.
Tim, I feel like you should not follow my methods of brewing. You should maybe lay off the sauce a little bit and slow down. You'll be fine. Okay. I don't know. Here we go. I was wondering if you guys could turn up the volume on... no, that one's stupid. Someone wants to bring up some government, some legal issues going on in Georgia state government. I'd like to bring up what's happening in Georgia. Currently, we're mandated by law to sell our beer through the 3-tier system due to our outdated laws. And basically, this means that no beer sales out of the brewery for on or off-premises consumption. And we're one of the 4 states with this regulation. That's ridiculous, by the way.
It's pretty dumb.
To be a brewery and you can't sell taste there on or off. There's a bill up for vote to permit the sale of on-premise and off-premise beer straight from the brewery. Originally, the bill suggested up to 72 ounces of beer for on-premise and 144 for off-premise at a price which would be the average price among retailers in the country. They've now proposed a new bill allowing for the sale of a brewery store only after buying beer back from the distributors. Also, they want to lower the quantity for on-premise consumption down to 32 ounces to reduce risks of drunk driving. So I'd like to hear your opinions, he says, on what's happening in the state of Georgia and possibly some accounts from how other states handle this situation. And that's from a dude named Austin. Well, it doesn't take much to say. I think it all sounds ridiculous. It's obviously an antiquated law, and some distributors are holding on to it. We talked about this with growler sales in Florida, where the distributors proposed, sure, they can sell growlers as long as they package it, sell it to us, and send it to our warehouse. Then we'll sell it back and bring it back to the brewery, and then they can sell it in their tasting room. We thought it was ridiculous then, and we think it's ridiculous now.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just ridiculous.
Getting drunk at a brewery is not any different than getting drunk at a bar. So I
Right.
understand why.
It's also our right as Americans.
Right. I want to get drunk where I want.
Well, remember, the middle tier has the money, so they don't want those laws loosened up.
There's really not much to say about this. It's a clear case of this is how business has been done for a while. People are trying to hang on to it instead of opening up the market, and I think that's it's a shitty thing to do. And there has been success in a lot of states, moving this around. Hopefully, you'll have the same success. I would encourage people of Georgia to start speaking up about this, because you will get better, fresher, potentially even cheaper beer, which is your right in the state of Georgia, if you speak up.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell them you want to be like North Carolina.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell them you have envy.
Let's see. Here we go. Hey, Session team. Really enjoy the show. I'm a newcomer to homebrewing in South Africa. It's been helpful to discover other beer styles and hear how brewcasters go about brewing their products in other parts of the world. South Africa is predominantly a lager region, so the craft beer scene is just starting to take off, and I've found some decent suppliers that have advertised on our shows to get some items that aren't available here. So, and then he goes on to say that our BN Awards episode this year was had him laughing until he almost got in a car wreck.
I keep saying I want someone to write in who actually got in a car wreck.
Yeah.
Not almost.
Let's see. Patrick writes in, like many listeners, I've been wondering why we've been hearing less and less of Tasty in recent podcasts. But then
recent podcasts from the past 8 years.
Hey, is Tasty still here?
But then in this week's session, we had Beardy, Doc, and Nicole all shouting over the top of each other, and now I know why the man stays quiet. Either way, when you guys lose complete control of what's going on in the show, it's still entertaining. I just sit back and wait for Justin to lose his shit. Keep up the great work, from Patrick.
Well, it's a good thing you keep it in a bowl in the other room.
Yeah. Then there's some feedback about Nicole on the past couple episodes, which they're kind of saying she's a little bit loud, and they're not big fans. And then finally, no, that's it. It was all then Nicole feedback. All right, there's your feedback for today. What was our Twitter game?
Well, since Susie is rarely here, I wanted everyone to, let me know what question they would ask Susie. Because, I feel like we don't really get a lot of Susie time anymore, and that makes me sad.
So, Suze, JP had the suggestion at the break that we modify the game, that you actually have to answer each question he reads that was suggested over Twitter. What do you think? Are you with us or are you against us?
Bring it.
Move the microphone toward you.
Because if you're not with us, Susie, you're against us.
Yeah. So
No, she's getting on the phone.
She's already answering the phone.
Bring it. Hold on.
Yeah, just bring it. I got to go.
Typical chick.
Bring it. I'm leaving. By the way, Susie has like a broken arm or shoulder or something.
Yeah, it was in a sling.
Yeah.
She broke it goaltending on the ice.
Right.
This is my soulmate right here.
I mean, let's be honest. Susie is half a nut job.
How do you break your wrist when you have so many pads on as a goalie?
She doesn't know.
She's on the
She
phone.
doesn't know. She can't hear you.
The girl's a nut job.
Hi, Susie.
Oh, hey.
I heard that last time.
Hi, Suze. All right, move the microphone close to you. There you go. Will you answer each and every question that is asked?
Yes, I will.
Now, of course you will.
Perfect.
She's Susie.
All right.
All right, let's find out who our finalists are and hear what their questions are.
All right, this is from our favorite Lulu Gumshoe in the chat. She says, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? # Asian persuasion.
That's a stupid hashtag. I just want to point out myself.
Well, you're racist.
It's like a pickup line, isn't it?
Come on, Susie.
How do you think I hurt my arm?
There you go.
Oh.
Good answer. Good answer.
This one is from Steel Bottom.
Of course it is.
He says, can you, if you please, show me those double Ds?
I don't have double Ds.
Good answer again.
Sounds like the dating game or something.
Bachelor number one.
Hey, real quick, our feedback was brought to you today by Beer Law Center a minute ago. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check out our friend John. He protects the Hop Grenade trademark. He's doing a great job. He really is. So let him protect yours, too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, JP.
Al the cow says, where do beardies come from?
Bigger beardies?
Good answers.
All right. Tom Venner writes, what is your favorite show on the BN and why is it lunch meat?
Because unicorns and rainbows are so awesome, and we need some soon, even if it's dark meat.
Okay.
There you go. Brian Smith, who appears to be a Penguins fan, which, whatever. He asked...
His question is stupid no matter what it is.
Thank you very much. He asks, do you hate JP as much as the rest of us?
I hate you all equally.
All right, there you go. Mad Cow Brewing asks, what's it like being in Bevo's box?
It's comfortable, it's warm, and it's very, nurturing.
It's just how I thought it would be.
Nurturing.
It's just how I've imagined it all these
Comfortable
years.
and warm.
Yeah, I don't need to eat at all. I get everything. Brewing Up Trouble says, your place or mine?
How about you stay at yours and I stay at mine?
And then finally, Dave Malone asks, when the Adam and Eve live read comes on, do you feel obligated to choose Asian as your genre?
If you listen to the show, Asian is never my genre. I don't want to accidentally bump into anyone I'm related to.
No, you like orgies, right? You're the group. You like group. That's your thing, right?
I do, but right now I'm kind of into big dudes, little chicks.
Oh,
wow. I didn't know that's a genre, Suze. Every time you're on the show, I learn something.
The more you know.
Big dudes, little chicks.
What does that mean? Like midget?
No, it's just like bigger men, kind of like brewers and skinny girls. Like not me.
Like fat guys and skinny chicks?
Just
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
They don't have to be fat. They just have to be big.
Like muscular, like me?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
JB, like
Yeah.
you.
All
It's
right.
a genre about you.
Perfect. That's it. Twitter game.
God. All right, well, my two favorites are What's It Like to Be in Bevo's Box, and then the last one about what her genre is.
Does she feel obligated? Her obligation as an Asian
that was the
genre?
next one.
So what do you guys want to vote for? All right, raise your hand if it's Bevo's Box. Raise your hand if it's Asians. All right, Asian guy wins. Who's that?
Good job. I forget who. I just closed the window, so I don't know who it
Okay.
is.
Well, guy who was a
Yeah.
racist, send in an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. We'll get you a prize for winning our Twitter game for today.
He knows who it is.
It's very prestigious. game to win.
It really is.
Don't you feel like that?
I really do.
Yeah, so do I.
Thank you.
All right, there's a lot of other shows here on the Brewing Network. Don't forget to tune in. You can come watch them at the Hop Grenade as well. Sign up for the podcast over on iTunes. You've got Dr. Homebrew. You've got the Sour Hour. You've got Brew Strong. You've got Brewing with Style. You've got this program. There's all sorts of stuff happening, so don't forget to check it out. Tasty, you did great tonight. Thanks for saying 5 words.
It's no problem.
Yeah, actually, tonight you really did
I
great
got
because
5,
you said
yeah.
25 words.
Yeah, and a few more.
I appreciated it very much.
That's great shit.
All right, you can go vote for Mike Sardina or any of our other GC candidates over at homebrewersassociation.org. Please check out Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company. They're great dudes brewing some great beer. And JP, you want to get us out of here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're off next week, so don't tune in and go do something else productive with your life, for God's sake.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. The fellas from Tioga-Sequoia joined us in the studio, and they brought beer. Good beer, even. Thanks, Good Beer Bringers. Got a homebrew label that you want everyone to know about? Enter it into the National Homebrew Label Awards at homebrewlabelawards.com. Follow JP on Twitter at MajorJip. And if you're any kind of Disneyland or Disney World fan, support his new endeavor, Coviers. Go to getcoviers.com for the best way to find your Disney park style and customize that classic Mickey Mouse ear hat, you douche. Warren was not here. No, that was not him. I promise. It was not Warren. For some good beer insight and homebrewing, follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on this session has been Pushy Ject. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP was thinking of Disneyland and cats at the same time. Susie was gimping along in the chat tonight, and your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP does great as his cherry.